just a short walk from MetLife Stadium and a short drive from the canyons of Manhattan. It's the 2024 USA Curling Men's and Women's Nationals from the Rink at American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm Dean Gemmell filling in for Joe Tollison, and I'm joined for this session by Stevie Berklid filling in for Tyler George. Stevie, it's 8 a.m. We're both up. What do you think these teams are thinking coming into this at 2-0?
Well, I think they are looking at the standings, and the winner of this game is going to be in first place halfway through the tournament. As good of a position as you can hope to be in. Two of the young, really talented teams we've got here, and we're up. They're going to try to start the game on a good note and get ahead early.
So it's draw 5. We're on sheet C, the feature sheet. Cousins, as Stevie said, at 2-0. Strouse at 2-0. Both teams coming into this, I think, both playing fairly well. Strouse with just coming out of a Grand Slam, which is always fun. But where you play, not fun all the time, but fun to play against the world's best in those events. And interesting to see both young teams coming in with good starts at 2-0. Strouse with 2 wins, and then Cousins beat Team Anderson in their last outing. Dropped Anderson to 1-1. Here are the teams. We've got Elizabeth Cousins at skip, Anne-Marie Duberstein at third, Allison Howell at second, and Liz Janiak at lead. With Team Strouse, we have, there we go, Liz Janiak at lead, Allison Howell at second. Team Strouse, Delaney Strouse at skip, Anna O'Hara at third, Sydney Mullaney at second, Rebecca Rogers at lead, and Susan Dutt is their fifth. It's interesting, Stephen, when you look at these teams, the Strouse team, for instance, most of them call Minnesota home now, but they come from far-flung destinations. Like you, started curling in Alaska. Anna O'Hara started curling in Alaska. Sydney Mullaney started curling at Broomstones in Boston, Wayland. Here's the other sheets before I get through that. Sarah Anderson taking on Christine McMakin. Rachel Workin taking on Kim Rime. This is our feature game, Elizabeth Cousins against Delaney Strouse. And Miranda Shield will take on defending champion Tabitha Peterson on sheet D. But the Strouse team's a good example of curlers developing in other places, whether it's Alaska. Delaney Strouse grew up in Midland, Michigan. So proof that talent develops all over the country, Stevie.
Yeah, I think that's one of the strengths of the way that the game is played these days. It's easy to get from place to place, and as you grow up in the competitive scene, you kind of develop rapport with other players that you're playing against and develop relationships, and that's a big part of what curling is about and what breeds success in this sport is that team chemistry, and so you're able to find, congeal yourselves into one area after you've
congealed. Doesn't make me think it sounds that good, Stevie. I mean, well, congealed. They've congealed into a team here. But no, this is a young team that's both young teams have been impressive this year and played pretty substantial schedules. Their coach Amy Harnden of Team Strouse, Graylin Cousins, coaches Team Cousins, his daughter Elizabeth at skip. We're underway here. Janiak with the first stone of the game.
Coming off, 13-5.
So go ahead, take it away there, Stevie.
I was just going to say, one of the things you see in these 10-end games at national championships a lot of the times is, there is a little bit of time to play these first couple ends conservatively and get your feel for the ice. In an 8-end game like they play on tour, usually you're going to see that first one in the first end go right in front of the rings, but here they're going to get their ice legs a little bit and take an opportunity if it's given to them, but they're not really feeling like they need to force it to start.
Fair point. Lots of debate, of course, always in the curling world about 10 ends versus 8 ends. I happen to like that both formats are played, to be honest. I think there's value in having different formats in curling. And that looks like Rogers will hit and just roll out. Cousins will elect to go top 4 again.
We'll probably see a pretty wide open first end here.
Yeah, we're certainly headed that way, which means at 8 a.m., Stevie, you and I have to fill some time with conversation. So, Janiak with her second.
Good throw, Becca. 6, 5, 6.
So we have thrown no shortage of challenges at our ice crew here this week in this unique venue, and thrilled with the work that Sean Olson and his crew have done. They've been really worked a building that may not be as easy as others, and I think we've got a really good surface. Just talked to Sean this morning. Of course, he always balances any positivity with some concerns, so it's both anxiety-inducing and positive when I talk to him.
That's right. Any operations manager is going to tell you the same thing.
Yep.
9, 5. Good.
So Rogers will hit and stick with her second. So both teams probably content to play this end out.
These are always the ends where, as when we are playing, and this is what happens, we almost want to turn to the other team and say, just push them down and start again. But the whole point of why they're doing this is obviously to, get their legs and see how the ice develops and things like that. Whereas if it happens in the seventh end, you slip into the rings a couple times, you're just like, let's start over.
And of course, there's always the chance for a miss and a cheap deuce to slip out of the bag, or this is trouble actually. That might jam. Oh, doesn't quite jam. So a cheap deuce to slip out of the bag, or a sit and stick when somebody tries to blank on the last.
Happens way more often than you would think too.
Yeah. Of course, statistics will say, if you study the curling stats, the team that scores first, no matter what they score, has quite an advantage in a curling game, 1 or 2. It's pretty remarkable, actually.
5.
Strouse will draw to the wing, or she'll ask Sydney Mulaney to draw to the wing.
6, 7. 5. Okay, you're good, girls. Nice. Good.
One of the things that's important when you're playing these first couple ends open like this is you want to make sure that you hit and stay so that the other team doesn't get a free draw at the rings and, learn a new path and is able to use that information later in the game.
Absolutely. This is Howell with her second. Howell, a native of New Jersey, grew up in New Jersey. Lives in the Boston area now after spending some time out in the Midwest.
10, 5.
Hits and sticks, her brother Tom, Allison Howell's brother Tom, of course, is lead on Team Dropkin on the men's side. As a New Jersey guy, I've got to mention their New Jersey roots, Stevie.
We always have this conversation, New
Every
Jersey
time.
versus Alaska, every time we commentate.
It's no contest, Stevie. It's New Jersey all the way.
We're all
Just
teammates.
All my good friends in Alaska, but we got to move this one a bit. This has got some curling to do.
That's okay.
They do manage to carve it over, hit and roll out. Gives Cousins a chance to draw again.
90.
This is Anne-Marie Duberstein with her first here in this, or second, I guess. No, first, sorry. Her first here in the first end.
Not moving yet.
It's always nice in these games to just start with a free,
13-9,
risk-free
why
shot.
not here?
Yeah.
I think it's there.
Okay, I can put one in my pocket.
Yeah, I think, during a long week, it's nice to have a few ends like this. It's also nice if you can get an early lead in a game and coast a bit, because every game is fairly stressful. It's often nice if you get one game where you don't need quite the mental acuity that you might in other games.
Yeah, and the gap between the top teams in this field is, not as large as it may have been in the past, and so you have a lot more of those close games. A lot more. The way the game is played now is a lot more finesse, and so there's a lot more sweeping going on. So over the course of a 10-end game times 7 over a week, you get tired. Your brain gets tired. There's a lot of stress going on.
Whenever I played in the national championship, I would lose 3 to 4 pounds during the week, being a blue-collar front-ender. I wish I could do that now, Stevie. I'd like to get out there and lose 3-4 this week. Anne-Marie Duberstein.
Yep. 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 All the way.
Trying to hold this one and not roll out.
Looks like they're going to just roll over towards that.
Might get a little corner freeze here and a little bit fortunate there.
9-5, yep.
But I guess the advantage to Strouse, she might be able to operate towards the blank on the wing, which might make the blank a touch easier. Anna O'Hara. Really been impressed by the way this young curler has improved in the last couple of years, Stevie.
This whole team, really.
Queen. Queen, yep.
Yeah, Anna, the whole team has improved. Anna in particular really settled into this third position and has been a good shot maker this year. She will hit and stick at the back.
Yep. Nose.
I always like having a lefty in the lineup. One lefty.
We always had one at lead.
Yeah, you know what, the whole team of lefties. No offense to lefties, but it's always fun when you have a lefty who can chase a rock with that lefty in turn.
Come at him from a different angle.
Yeah.
9-5.
We could spark a single hack debate.
I was
now.
going to leave it to you.
I get no shortage of emails, by the way, Stevie.
I'm all in favor for it.
I am not. I'm going to say our game is easy enough as it is. I see no reason to make it easier. Not that it's easy, but I think there's appeal in having misses, etc. And so I have no interest in making it easier. Elizabeth Cousins, her first end.
Whoa. Yes.
Good job. 9-5, yep. Runs pretty straight here, Hannah. Perfect. Just keep a broom down.
Yep.
They do sometimes go.
Yeah, and it's in the back, so it
yours
might come
went
up.
on
Yeah.
the ledge, so I don't know.
You got it.
Nine five.
Delaney Strouse looking for a 9-5 hog-to-hog time. I think this week what we've seen with the ice is typically starting at 14 and a half, or sometimes starting a little slower than that, getting faster, and then fudging a bit at the end. So all adjustments players should be able to make. This might have been a little inside out, Stevie.
Curl. Hard. Hard, Ted, you got it. Go, go, go.
Not going to stick.
Just enough to get it.
So Elizabeth Cousins could consider putting it in a spot they haven't been. There's not a lot of mystery with this ice, but she's going to go back to the center.
Okey-doke.
I actually like to draw to the wing for this one. The wings in the first end, the sides of the sheet can be the pebble can be a little bit different. You can catch a little bit of extra curl, and we've found that you end up getting that nose hit on the blank attempt out on the wing in the first end reasonably often.
It's a fair point. I mean, although the practice is sort of to the center a lot, and you can put somebody out in an area that's maybe a little less familiar, but Cousins will play to the center of the rings. The advantage of being in the center rings, of course, the roll's a little further.
Yeah. And the value for her is getting a draw to the middle, right? Like
Sure.
that has tangible value as well.
That's nice. Okay. 14-5.
So 14-5 hog to hog, swept a little bit, and it's going to settle in just
Great job.
into the 4-foot.
Similar, honestly. Yeah. You got it.
14.5 hog to hog usually indicates somewhere around 24.5 to 25 seconds hog line to stop to T line, which is a pretty good speed for a championship like this.
Yeah, we're certainly pleased with that. I know our chief ice technician, Sean Olson, has also been tapping into his ice tech resource this week. Dave Stavatag got a few phone calls from Sean. Appreciate that, Dave. And I appreciate that our, There was a time, you know, Stevie, when ice techs didn't like to talk to each other, and it's much better sharing of knowledge. Delaney Strouse looking for a blank. Hit and roll out. Clean right now holding it. Oh, don't want it to curl too much here, just clean. Hitting and rolling out, and mission accomplished for Strouse. Blank in the first end. They'll retain hammer going into the second. Want to remind you that Steve's Curling Supplies is a sponsor here of USA Curling.
Okay. Hopefully we can get something.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Men's and Women's National Championships 2024. Let's look across the sheet. Sarah Anderson against Christine McMakin, 0-0 in the first. We're 0-0 all the way across, I guess. A couple scores haven't been posted yet, but Rachel Work and Kim Rhyme and Miranda Scheel versus Tabitha Peterson over on sheet D. We're here on the feature sheet, sheet C. Delaney Strouse against Elizabeth Cousins. We saw spots there for two of our best supporters, Columbia Sportswear. Don't forget to buy a lot of Columbia gear. And since this roll isn't my usual roll, Stevie, I'm going to say go online and buy some good USA Curling Columbia merchandise, or buy it here.
It's pretty good gear, actually.
It's great stuff. Also TCO and Training House, great supporters of USA Curling. I like everything about them except that pickleball shot in the commercial, Stevie.
Not a pickleball fan?
No. I think curling's a far better game and should be far more popular than pickleball.
Go, Sid. Yep.
Rogers trying to hit and stick. It looks like another fairly straightforward end as Cousins brings her first into the rings. I'm wondering if there is a bit of an approach here with Team Cousins, if they really are trying to keep it fairly simple early.
It's possible. Back when I was younger, a pretty common strategy in these 10-end games against a team that you expected to be one of the better teams was to do the kind of conservative first two ends and shorten the game a little bit.
Well, they may not be able to play conservatively after this. There's a miss from Liz Janiak. And now let's call it game on. So Strouse will ask for a corner guard. Lying one at the back of the button.
15-5.
I like this from Delaney. With one in the rings and the hammer, a lot of teams would just put the second one in the rings right now. But with 6 red rocks still to come, it's really hard to hold a deuce for 6 hole shots. So they're going to try to generate, some offense in a way that is less disruptible.
It's a great point. The corner guard more useful. Long way to go for your deuce with just 2 rocks in the rings.
Especially with one of them in the middle of the house, you're already not fully separated.
Tough to prevent a double or a corner freeze. Now you don't want this corner guard to slip in.
Okay, good.
It's close, but I think it'll stop just short.
Thank you.
Good spot. Lots of curl in the ice this week, which is something we love.
Yeah, anytime you can get 25 seconds hog to stop and 4 to 4.5 feet of curl, that's a good surface.
Allison Howell with her first. Might have got this one going a hair.
Nice sweep.
Really doesn't love rolling over there.
But 14
Yeah, we've definitely got a game now.
Strauss thought about hitting it. I kind of like the tap or freeze.
12-5.
So they're going to make a play on it, Stevie, with hack weight. Thoughts?
There's a few shots you could play here, just whether your tendency is conservative or aggressive. My tendency is aggressive. I would be playing a freeze. It's behind the tee line and behind your corner guard. If you can get one frozen in there with the hammer, you're almost I don't want to say guaranteed, but your chances for 2 are really high.
Tight to the guard here.
You still have it! You still have it! Hard!
Oh, wow. Or you can paper the guard.
It's a pretty good result.
Yeah. I don't know, Berklet. I don't know if I remember you with a lot of rocks in play, actually.
You need to get your memory checked, I think.
I used to wonder if you knew takeouts were legal. All right, so they nosed one that's, 3/4 buried, so Hal will try to chase it, dig it out.
Yep.
And the difference here, like I think that trying to hit this one as red is flatly the correct call because you don't have the hammer, and so you want to draw play away from that corner guard as opposed to freezing on top of it.
Might have been a little big on the weight there. Hits and rolls out, and Strouse now with an opportunity to duck behind that corner guard.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what Delaney was trying to set up when she played that corner guard, right? You get a half shot at some point in the end, and then you get to sink one underneath it, and then 2 is really, really likely.
4. Okay, a little tight.
Straight.
Straight. 3. Okay, whoa. 2. 2.
Sounds like this might be short.
1.5.
16-5.
Okay.
It's definitely not what you're looking for in a spot like that, obviously, but
You want to draw?
plays still to the wing. Worst case scenario, you're going to have an open draw to the 4-foot on your last, and if Anne-Marie ever comes a little bit deep on this draw or light too, you can still come around and generate 2 really, really easily. These are the ends when you have the hammer. You're playing for 2, but there's very little risk of a steal.
Henry Duberstein trying to choke off this corner guard. Wants this in front of the tee line.
Top house.
Exciting fact for people out there. I won the Triangle Curling Club's inaugural Bonspiel with Anne-Marie's dad at second.
Well, that's very exciting.
This is one of my signature win for me, Stevie. But shout out to the folks at the Triangle Curling Club, really one of my favorite clubs in the country. I love visiting, great vibe, great energy there, and they're doing great things for the sport in North Carolina.
Okay, so probably 14. 13-5.
So a little deep on that for Duberstein, and certainly opportunity here now for Team Strouse.
Line's good. Line's good.
No concern with line yet. Sweepers being patient.
My broom. Line's good. Got a curl. Go, Bex. Gotta move.
They can tuck this. It
Gotta
looks good.
Has to move.
Yep. Hard!
Okay, that's good.
Good judge, girls.
That's a pretty good spot for them. Obviously love it about 2 feet higher to take away the freeze opportunity for Cousins, but you'll take that when you can get it.
Yeah, one of those in-betweens. They could have stayed off it a bit and not buried it as much, but maybe left it a little higher. But Duberstein.
Those are always tricky when you're like, we want to finish it, but that makes it a foot heavy, and you have to balance that in real time as to whether leaving it half open is better or worse than bringing it a foot deep.
This rock has some curling to do. Looks like it might be a little strong. How far will it move the Yellowstone? Almost far enough, but it bounces, and now 2 definitely. The 2 is available.
Yeah, this is now you can hold your deuce pretty easily. Hit and roll away. Some teams might look at this house and be inclined to hit and roll under and be like, oh, we've got 2 buried, but they'd be both behind the tee line, and then one freeze kind of takes them both away. A 25-second double takeout. But rolling away puts it in a spot where a freeze around the corner guard is no longer going to outcount both your stones, and you can always get your 2. So you'll probably see Cousins end up, hitting the open one
They're working hard. It looks like maybe nose versus the roll. They would have liked to, as Stevie pointed out, rolled a little bit the other way.
Yeah, that's really not a spot you want to end up in. It makes this hit and roll kind of take your whole end away. At least if this is made, Delaney still has 2 rocks left, so she can corner freeze on one that's going to be right behind the tee line and hopefully get her deuce that way.
10-5.
Elizabeth Cousins looking for 10-5 hog to hog, sort of a control weight, hoping to roll under. Cousins we've seen play at the Nationals in other positions. I do believe this is her first run at skip at the Women's Nationals.
I think she threw last rocks in Spokane. She was playing
Correct.
with my cousin Ariel.
Ariel Traxler, yes. Cousins, her first, second end, trying to avoid giving up 2 here.
Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. 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 Yes. Whoa. Yes. No roll.
Don't want to over-roll this.
Moves the yellow, but I think yellow remains shot, so situation unchanged, and now lots of stuff there for a potential jam.
Pretty good, yeah. Tiny bit less, yeah. Just top 8.
So go back. If we're half open, that's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
fine.
bad.
So Delaney says if we're half open, not that bad.
And she's right, too, because there's no way to hit it
It's okay. if we're
because
a
of
little open.
what you mentioned with
Let's
all
make
of
sure
that
we're
stuff
top
back
half
there
right
for
now.
it to jam on. It's almost better to leave this half open because then for Cousins to freeze on it, she would be fully open,
And it was
and
even
you might be able
behind
to
slightly,
hit
and he did sweep it, but still.
Cousins' last stone, running your yellow into the pile, and
at least
maybe
be
end up
half
with
8
3
foot
if the angle
And in front of the tee line.
works out right. I would be inclined to really try to leave some of this open and make it.
Agreed. There's certainly no reason to flirt with the guards. So, as Delaney says, half tucked, pretty good.
Line's good.
Half tucked shot rock, or second shot at least, in
top 8,
front of
line's
the
good.
tee. Haven't laid a brush to it yet.
I think you really want this one to be like full 8 foot.
Lot of room.
Even at the tee line is a
14.
little bit too deep.
14 sounds a little spicy.
A little bit, Barry, a little bit. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep,
Now
yep,
they're going
yep.
to try to bury a bit. Let's listen into what Elizabeth Cousins thinks here.
Like
Even
hack.
if we clip this a little, yeah. So hack. Very similar. I mean, I think that here should be fine. I'll give it a good release. Okay.
So Cousins thinks she can hit and roll under a little bit and certainly force Strouse to 1 here.
Even if she just gets to the nose,
Correct.
It might
that's
even be
probably good
minimalized.
enough. Even if she doesn't kill the yellow stone and yellow ends up as second and third shot, her shooter will be really difficult to remove from that point. What she doesn't want to do is just stay high side and kind of tap the yellow into the pile and roll to the center line. She might end up giving up 3.
Cousins, her last rock, second end 0-0 game.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Has some curling to do.
Whoa.
I haven't touched this one yet. It's definitely not rolling under. This could be trouble.
That is trouble.
Ooh, and got unlucky to not even tickle that other yellow, and that leaves Strouse with an open hit for 3.
You got it.
And this is the strength of playing that corner guard.
Correct.
Her lead second rock. This whole end was set up by that decision instead of trying to come into the house and split the rings and hold your 2.
Could walk back to that very first miss. Lead second, missed the hit. A flash of the hit gives Delaney Strouse a chance to put up the corner guard, and then the rest of the end was dictated
Right.
by that corner guard. Strouse, last rock, second end, hit and stick for 3.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. Curl.
That's always a sound you like to hear.
A little bit early to carve it, but that looks like a nice throw for hit and stick for 3, so it'll be 3 for Delaney Strouse. She'll take a 3-0 lead into the third end. We're proud we're happy to have all our sponsors. I gave Steve's a little shout out earlier, but Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years, is proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, Steve's has all the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USA Curling 10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com or visit Steve's Curling, not USA Curling. Visit stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. We appreciate all our sponsors, and Steve's certainly one of them. Thank you. All right, a quick look at scores on other sheets. Sheet A, Sarah Anderson, her team, they're up 1-0 on Christine McMakin. Workin Rhyme, actually we can update that. It's 3-0 for Rhyme over Workin. And Cousins Strauss, that's our game, also 3-0. Strauss over Cousins. And Shield versus Peterson, that game is still at 0-0. So Strauss, Stevie, after the, oh boy, oh my gosh. Wow. That was a...
Very nimble.
She sort of fell and then got stuck, I think, there, Stevie. She was stuck in the, that was one where you have to, like, shovel your teammate out of the way.
I've had a few of those in my day.
But with Strauss, after the 3, goes top 4 with her first. And we'll see Cousins ask Janiak to put up the corner guard.
Yeah, now Cousins' hand is forced a little bit. You know, there's still a lot of game left. 8 ends is a long time, but being down 3, you don't really have the option to continue to play conservatively and just trade stones. You have to kind of try to generate an advantage somewhere, and so that's where the corner guards come in.
Definitely. Cousins' team hasn't been down in this event so far, I don't believe, at any point in any game, so we'll see how they respond. Strauss will ask for the tight guard from Rebecca Rogers. Double lefties on this team. Rebecca Rogers grew up curling at the Petersham Curling Club in New Hampshire. They like the line. They're just trying to make it tight. They're saying 2.5. Don't mind if they show the outside a bit, but that is over curling more than they might like.
I like the way this team talks to each other throughout the shot. You know, there's communication about what the line is. There's communication about what the weight is. And everyone is kind of making their own decision when you're in that limbo state of, like, there's not a clear we have to go for line.
Wait if you can.
And I think that shows a lot of trust in your teammates of, like, I'm just going to give you some information and let you, you know, do your job and make the best decision you can.
All you. Yep. Yep. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Yep.
Round the corner guard, they will get it fully buried. Nice shot from Janiak.
Yeah, that's a perfect start. Corner guard and right under. You know, Delaney kind of has to ignore that because she's not allowed to peel the corner guard anymore. And so we've got this 1 point just kind of set off to the side. And so now Elizabeth can focus on clearing out the middle and hopefully just leave that one off in the 8-foot and you know, have that be a second or maybe even a third point at some point.
This is Team Strauss second, Sydney Mulaney. As I mentioned before, a product of the Broomstones Junior Program. Broomstones in Wayland, Massachusetts. One of the newer curling team terms, Stevie, knife it.
Yeah, that's kind of when you turn your broom head to look more like a blade. The idea there is that you are creating the friction on a less lateral amount of surface area. So
Do you like running the garden?
the angle, the scratches that you're putting on to carve it, to make it curl, end up affecting the outer half of the stone more than the inner half of the stone, which, you know, there's still some debate about how effective that is, but I'm on the side that believes it's pretty effective when you're doing that for line only.
Yep. 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 Whoa.
Looking for the double here. Double almost made. Good result.
It's actually a really good result because now Delaney can't hit and roll under the center guard, otherwise she would jam. So now she kind of has to hit and roll open, which would then leave Cousins a double and split house.
So Strouse chasing a bit now.
Queen,
Yep, 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 yep.
On it early.
Hard.
This is one where a perfect nose hit is actually a pretty good result.
Good, sweet.
So they did.
Yep, I think that's a really good result.
Cousins will try to hit and roll under the short yellow guard. She'll ask Allison Howell to do that.
Kind of flicks it out.
This rock has some curling to do, but it will stick around on the wing.
Yep, big roll.
Now Strauss can play for the big roll
I
and
like 9-5
would love to at least lie 2 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
My
pretty
outfit's a little
important
soft, so I think this will be out.
thing to make sure that you do at the end of this shot is be sitting first and second to keep the pressure on Cousins. You know, right now she's just keeping 2 rocks in the rings, hoping for an opportunity to just make a single takeout and sit 2. As long as you sit first and second, your rocks have to be in a position to be doubled out in order for Cousins to get her 2 points. So.
We heard Delaney talking about the fact that she thought they could hold rocks straight with the brushing. That one may be a little straighter. They were expecting a little more curl there than they got out in the wing. There you hear it. Thought it would curl. So now back advantage Strauss, or advantage Cousins. Apologies.
Whoa! Yep! 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 Nice. 9-4.
Yep.
10-5.
Done. So now Strauss needs some kind of roll.
You said 9-5?
10-5.
Yep. Second last. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of.
Here's that lefty in turn, Stevie.
5, second last.
These
Might
can
get a
get
little-
going sometimes.
Might get a little more action than a right-hander might here.
Queen. Queen, yep. Whoa. Queen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Queen, queen, queen. Push, push. Whoa. Push, push, push. Any roll, any roll.
A little bit in between.
Yeah, now a chance to hit and roll away, draw play completely away from that center with a split house and sitting 2 is, you know, and only a few rocks left in the end. 2 seems really likely here if you can get this roll away.
Yeah, not an especially difficult shot, but an important one here for Team Cousins.
Whoa! Whoa!
They're going to roll under, which actually gives Strauss the opportunity to freeze.
Those are always tricky. I never know how to feel about them as as red,
Right.
because you end up in that spot and you're like, okay, well, we're probably going to get 1 or 3 now. the 2 is much less likely, because if Delaney makes this freeze, you might even give up a steal. But if she ever is a little bit light or a little bit heavy or rubs the guard, then all of a sudden 3 is super duper likely.
Big shot, Delaney Strouse, her first. Looking for a freeze on the Cousins stone that's just at the back button.
She wants to make sure that she gets at least full 4 on this. She doesn't have to be all the way down 2-shot rock. But if she's any higher than the 8-foot, then Elizabeth can come around to the other side and sit 2 buried and be in a really good position.
Still waiting it for curl. It looks weight is close. If anything, I think it's a little heavy, but they're trying to get it to curl. They don't want to bounce here. Oh,
it's a great result.
Well done. Almost to nose, but good enough, I think.
Keep an eye on that yellow one in the 12-foot on the right side. That angle is basically perfect for an in-off if they want to take it later.
Ooh, that's a big hair. Is that mine? No, it's too long to be yours. Oh, okay.
Found a hair on the ice there, Stevie, and it was decided it was too long to be Anne Marie's. So.
It's not mine.
Of course, the days of finding a hair from a hair broom are over, but.
Back gate, wait. Let's just try and get to.
Those were a lot easier to see. They were thick and dark.
Smaller, though.
That's true.
Elizabeth Cousins, her first shot here in the third end. Her team trailing 3-0. Looking for something good here.
This is a lot of a setup shot here. There's no real way for her to get shot rock. What she's trying to do is just unlock that red one and keep an angle on her red shooter so that she can have access to Delaney's yellow stone from 2 directions. She'll have the in-off from the out-turn side and hopefully this tap on the in-turn side if she can keep the line.
Right to it. Right here. Okay. Good.
Move that a little bit.
Yeah, we're shot. So they don't have anything on this side.
Yeah, she has nothing. Yeah.
So she has like a run, but she's killing. She's running ours.
For sure, probably killing. Well, unless she runs it this way.
Yeah.
Like guarding that side? You like guarding the center? Huh? Yeah, it's either guard something like that or the guard the run.
Yeah, and it's probably, is it for 2?
I mean, she definitely can probably come and hack this for like 3. Yeah.
Top 12? Or even top 6? We took these.
Can be there, and that's
Elizabeth's shot really ended up in an unfortunate position for her because she kind of cut off her ability to play that in-off from the yellow rock in the 12-foot. Cuts that angle away. So now Delaney doesn't have to fear it. And so, Elizabeth didn't leave herself much else. And Delaney gets a chance here to really put a lot of pressure on Elizabeth's last stone.
Yeah, with a little different angle, Delaney might have been concerned and maybe think about taking away an in-off for 4. But I don't think it's there.
No.
So she's going to try to take away the run of her own stone, which I think even if they made is at best for 2.
Like
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Strouse, her last shot, third end, up 3-0. Looking to steal after an end that she was chasing a bit in. Rock on the way.
Straight early.
One good freeze will do a lot of work for you.
Stay close, straight. Line's good. Distance only, needs to curl a bit. 15-4, yep, curl. Hard, Sid, you gotta curl it hard. Little more.
I'm gonna wrap this one around.
Hard.
Just good enough, I think.
Well, I think it, the way this ice curls, it also took away like the little chisel on the red that might have been there, as short as that guard is with the outturn. But
Yeah.
let's hear what Elizabeth Cousins thinks of this situation.
Yeah. I don't know if we're counting at the end of that. Like if we hit these spray and then we hope that this doesn't roll too far.
Yeah. So we want to get over the top of this one just a little.
Yeah. Okay. Firm.
Okay.
Like here.
So they've settled on this angle run of Strauss's
Yeah,
yellow.
like just this side of nose to clip the red on the left side.
I think it's there.
It's definitely there for at least one. There's probably a spot you can hit this for two if you can hit the
I
yellow one
think
over the
so.
top of the red
It's gonna be
at
really
an
not
angle
sure
such that it
our red will roll too
goes
far,
under
yeah.
the side red. But it's tough.
Yeah, it feels a bit like you almost have to hit everything you see there behind the guard. But
There's
maybe,
two ways to hit it, right?
Maybe
There's
a hair higher.
There's the hit it thick and straight into the red one, and that's like you're basically guaranteeing that you score your one. But if you hit maybe half of a stone, you might get it over the top and score it for two.
Yes! Whoa!
Here we are. Cousins,
Yes!
her last.
Whoa!
Haven't touched it.
Close.
And there's,
Oof.
that's exactly what Elizabeth was concerned about. That'll be a steal of one for Strauss.
Bit unlucky. She made that pretty good.
Yeah, couldn't have hit it a whole lot better. Threw it well, just didn't get the result. Tough shot all around, and we'll finish this third end with Strauss having a 4-0 lead on Elizabeth Cousins. Time to talk about Warm Room Hero, one of our great USA curling sponsors. It's the intuitive curling club software that takes the stress out of schedules, registrations, and more. Warm Room Hero, a platform built for curlers by curlers. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club today. Curling.club. You don't need the today, but curling.club. Terrific. If you do struggle with your curling management software, I will say that Warm Room Hero, from everything I've heard, is a terrific solution. There are a number of clubs that are using it, so check it out and see if it would work for your club. And there's also USA Curling member club discounts if you choose Warm Room Hero. We're back. 2024 USA Curling Men's and Women's Nationals. We're in the women's field on the ice now. We'll look across the ice and check out update some scores for you. Anderson McMakin, that score is 1-1. McMakin took one in the second end. Workin Rhymes up 3-1 on Workin.
6-1 now.
6-1 now. Thank you, Stevie. And Peterson Shield, it looks as though it's 2-0. Peterson at the moment, she is at, I will report because I'm looking at it over here. It looks like they're lying 4 as Tabitha goes to throw her last one. So Miranda Shield will need something pretty good on her last. In our feature game, it's 4-0 Strauss. Actually, an end where there was always a 2 or a 3 even possible for Cousins. But as Stevie noted, you make that one shot and suddenly a steal comes into play.
And that's why that roll away was so important when they were trying to, keep the house split. But when they roll behind the tee line under the center guard, that gives Delaney an opportunity, and good players just don't miss those opportunities that often.
And for a neophyte, that would have looked like a great shot. She hit and rolled right to the back of the button. You know, I've been in buildings where you have some curling fans that don't know the game particularly well. That would get a big cheer. So, here we go. Janiak, though, with her second. She's looking for a corner guard. Just so people know, here at American Dream, the Rink at American Dream, we are approaching or maybe at a sellout on the mezzanine level on the weekend. So that's exciting. So if you're in the area and you haven't got tickets, make sure you check those out. We are going to open a little more ice level with not behind the plexiglass, one player bench area. So, as usual, you know, we build towards the weekend, Stevie. We've got 2 weekend days, Saturday and Sunday this year versus just the one, which we're excited about, and hoping to see good crowds at the end. The crowds have been okay midweek. Obviously, 8 a.m., never the best attended draw.
No.
Almost in. 3, not 3.
One thing we did this year was we packaged the morning draw and the afternoon draw as one ticket. So if you are interested in tomorrow, there's 1 ticket opportunities. You get 2 games for the price of 1.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Based on some real deep analytics, Stevie, I said, did we ever sell out an 8 a.m. draw? No.
No, not once. Interesting. I for one am shocked.
Yeah. So maybe we try to get people to buy both.
Yeah.
Allison Howell.
Not a lot of handball.
They'll try to duck behind the corner guard that's up.
6.
Yeah, try to start this end just like they started the last one. You know, it is unfortunate that they gave up a steal and now they're down 4 instead of 3, but they set up a good end. And I think that if they just stick to their game plan and execute just a little bit better, they can get right back in the game. Again, there's a long time left. Trade 2s for 1s, and you're back in it real quick.
Strouse will peel the corner guard, or ask Sydney Mulaney to peel the corner guard. Might have got this going a bit. Tried to audible and maybe get that double, but she rolls towards the center.
All right, a lot of rocks to use now.
We can try and get under. Like board. I like this.
It's like a 0 margin.
Duberstein and Cousins will talk about this.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I just think we have to make a play on this.
Sure.
On these guys.
Okay.
Let's do control.
I think she's right that you need to make some kind of play on these 2 stones. I'm not sure that you need to kill it. Some kind of tap back and leave yourself more options, leave some jam possibilities. It's still early enough in the end. You've got 5 rocks left that could definitely be a plan of use, but they're going to go with the control weight hit.
Yes!
Try to keep their options open a little bit.
Working this one hard, and it looks like it's going to bounce on the guard. Trouble.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I think that playing the hit weight instead of
7-5.
The finesse draw tap,
She wants to roll out.
it's kind of all or nothing, right? And even the upside's not that huge if you make that takeout. Whereas if you play some kind of draw, at least if you miss in a way, everything's still in play. You can still use it going forward.
Agreed. Might be related to the fact, Cousins, like I said earlier, has not trailed in any game. So, and I haven't watched a lot of them, but my inclination is to think they're playing fairly conservatively. And now suddenly they're down and they don't really have that luxury.
Yeah, they don't really have anything going now. They do have a corner guard, but it's Strauss's corner guard, and it's close enough to the rings that if they make a draw under it, there's 2 ways at it. There's the short run back, or Delaney could even play off of her 8-foot one that Cousins is hitting right now. So they've elected to try to get under the corner guard where they hit and roll instead.
It's close, but rolls too far. Removes one Yellowstone.
The nice thing now is, you know, when Delaney hits this red rock, which she obviously is going to do, now you can play under the corner guard with a little bit less pressure on yourself. Try to generate a deuce that way.
Strouse looking for the big roll here. Go well over with it.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Looks like that's going to be dead nose. Probably wide enough. It's not terrible yet, but if you can duck behind that corner and a little higher than that, it becomes problematic.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're not even with that yellow one, because then it's an option for Delaney to, you know, hit her yellow one first and then have the shooter hit the side of your red one. Even though you're buried, she can get access to it pretty easily. That makes this draw a lot harder than it might look, because, you know, T-line is too deep, but if you only end up biting the top of the 8 foot, then the run back is only 4.5 feet. So it's kind of tough to put this in a really good spot. You need this to be maybe like one rock high of the T-line and basically fully buried.
Or even touch the 8.5 buried. At least you might be able to bring that jam into play if they ever tried that. They'd probably just play the short run then.
Right, exactly. That's kind of why you need to be a little bit deep. The other option is to come past the T-line like they're going to do, and then now coming off the side one is no longer an option. But looks like it over-curled, so you have access to it straight up.
It's probably going to get backing. But, I mean, then they only get 2.
That's true. That's just true. I just don't want to jam the possibility. How much? Okay, shouldn't move much.
11.5? 11.5? Yep. You got it.
So they're worried about creating a lot of backing back there. I mean, there's a couple ways around that, aren't there, Steven?
Yeah, you can, you know, you could play soft and try to roll under. You could play it hard and try to just roll your shooter all the way out. One of the better results here is actually, you know, killing both of them. I don't think you would see Cousins go for like the blank option at this point if both of these are killed. And so I think what they're trying to do is play it a little bit softer and kind of roll away, but save the shooter and keep the force very alive.
You're right. They could play the thin quarter double. Play the red under their own yellow, spill out would be a good result. But they don't want to leave that wall of granite back there.
Yeah, and if you do play the quarter double and like end up clipping it thin and jam it straight on the yellow one somehow, then like 3 comes into play real quick.
11.4. It's super close.
Well, they kept it just dead nose, and they did leave the...
So 2 very much in play here.
Yeah. I think rolling, they could have been off that and rolled the other way as well.
Yep.
You know, try to roll way far to the left towards where Anne-Marie Duberstein's now standing.
And I had 13.5 on Anne, so the speed is pretty much the same.
They did discuss it. They said, well, we'll give them an opportunity for 2. I think there was perhaps a way to make the 2 more difficult.
The nice thing about this position for Delaney, yes, you know, you've given Elizabeth her probable best chance for 2, but even if she makes this shot, it's got to be basically perfect. Otherwise, you're going to have the ability to come off of your yellow one on the side or just pick this stone out. It's really hard for Elizabeth to put this in a spot that's both buried and not accessible from the side.
Sweeper saying they don't want to go yet, which indicates it's a little strong.
As long as this gets all the way to the back one and is buried, then they're okay. But
saying it's not going to be shot. I think it looks like it might check up. We'll see. It might slip right through that hole, which would be...
That would be unfortunate.
Really suboptimal, and that is what it's going to do.
Yeah, top 8, or top 4.
This second shot.
Second shot.
Yeah, so full 8 foot. Full 8 foot at least.
If we're open, that's fine.
Top 4.
So as Delaney discussed there, second shot, what you really need to be here. Open is not the end of the world, as long as you don't leave some sort of double for 2.
Yeah.
3/4 of the 8 foot to be second shot here.
And you look at Elizabeth's result on her last shot,
Yeah,
like it,
I mean,
you
I
know,
would love to be like a half Mary
the sweepers
here.
didn't really touch
I
it,
think
so
she'd
it
be
looks
fine for
kind of
that.
like a bad miss, but her
Oh,
weight
get close
was
to the guard, though, there's no reason.
really, really close. I think they just ended up taking too much ice. Her broom was about a foot wider than
Yeah, I
Delaney's
got
is right now.
55.
And that's exactly, you know, they missed the backing by an inch or two. And if they had the right broom, they'd probably come right down to it, and they're in a good spot.
Good point. Delaney Strouse with a 4-0 lead. Her last shot in the fourth end, trying to force
good.
Cousins here to 1.
It's gotta be top 8. Line's good. Room. Gotta move. Room.
She could come to the back and lie too as well. They're right off it right now. I think they said 13-7. They might want to try to just.
Whoa! Whoa, you're fine.
You know,
Good. It's good.
Don't
there-
think there's a double there
All right, just draw. Yep.
because of the guard.
they looked at it, and it looks as though Elizabeth Cousins has elected to draw full forfeit for her single point. There may be a soft weight double there, Stevie, but not easy.
It's not easy. I might be inclined to try it down
I
4.
don't think I can.
But you know, she'll probably take a
No,
look at
'cause
it
you
from
need
the
to get
hack, yeah.
nose to get to, and I've
She would need to get nose, as she said.
We got full
Yeah.
four here.
Or at least 3/4. And the problem is, like, if you hit 3/4, you need more weight
Yeah.
because the angle of the first object rock, and there's just not enough time for the rock to curl with the amount of weight you'd need.
Elizabeth Cousins trailing 4-0, needs a draw here for 1, facing 2.
Stop the bleeding a little bit here and just try to rebuild.
Sweepers on it early. They like the line. Sweepers working this hard now.
8.
Trying to drag it. 14-8,
guys,
they
hard.
said.
All the way.
It should
All
be
the way.
close.
Looks like they got it there.
Well swept.
Sweep, guys. Great. Yes.
1 for Cousins, so that will make the score 4-1 as we head to the 5th end and the midway point of this game. We'll be back. It's time for the mid-game break, brought to you by Broom Fitters. Yeah.
Let's curl, DFW.
Let's curl DFW.
Let's curl DFW. DFW でぜひカーリングしましょう。
Queremos hielo delicado en Dallas. ¡Vamos, Dallas!
We're back. The 2024 USA Curling Men's and Women's National Championship. Look across the other sheets. Sarah Anderson up 4-1 and Christine McMakin. Rachel Workin trailing Kim Ryan by a score now of 6-3. And Shield and Peterson 2-1. I did mention in the last, I guess in the third end, that Shield would need something special. She was stationing 4 or 5 Peterson Stones, and apparently she made something. I missed it, but if you, with Curling Stadium as our partner, you can watch all sheets, so somebody must have seen it.
Get the quad box going for curling red zone.
Yeah, one day, but it is a real nice feature we have that you can watch every game, even without the annoying commentary of Stevie and I on the other ones. So Dallas-Fort Worth Curling Club there with their message. Great group of people down there. They've been working really hard towards a dedicated ice facility, and I'd say I like their chances. They've got a good group and working towards that. Would love to see a dedicated
go
ice
through.
facility
Go through.
in the Dallas
Back out.
Metroplex. Cousins with a centerline guard.
One behind the tip, one behind the tip. Hard,
Not
hard,
going to
hard, hard.
bury,
All the way
so
up,
they'll
all the way
take
up.
this one a little. They're going to try to take it right out.
Okay.
We'll hang
That's
around
fine.
at the back.
Those first come-arounds that end up in the back 8-foot, back 12-foot, they come into play in scary ways really often.
Famous Donnie B3.
Yeah, you just forget about it forever, and then all of a sudden it's a third point.
Yep. 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 Sorry. Well, you're good. You're good. That's fine.
Top 8.
Top 8. You got it.
Fighting the top 4 is okay.
Rock comes up just short of the rings, and now Strouse will ask Rogers to, Rogers to play the come around.
A 1.
Be the first in.
Good. Line's perfect. All you girls. Distance only.
Yeah, first one in front of the tee line. You know, get a rock into a
Distance,
good
girls.
position. It takes
14-7.
multiple
Hard, you
shots
really
to kind of
gotta go.
dislodge that
Dig
rock's
on it,
position.
dig. Gotta be second shot. Hard, 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 hard.
Sorry. She touched that
A little
top.
shorter than they would have liked,
You think
but
you moved it?
is behind the guard.
Okay.
It's still a pretty good
I
position.
don't think it's on either way.
You know,
You're
Delaney
good.
is definitely
Yeah,
going to
you're
go start peeling guards on her next shot, and that leaves that yellow one as a very short run back to any potential red rock that ends up in the scoring area.
good. 70. 6, 5, 6. 5. Yep. 4. Yep. Yep. Yep, you got it. Yep. Yep. Fight 8. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Really nice sweep, guys.
Thanks.
Got 14-5 on Allison's, and then 14-9 was your top 12.
Really
That's
well
a little
swept there
harder,
to get
sorry.
that rock into, you know, first shot position and basically buried under the guard. You still have access to the intern side to get to the button. Obviously, Delaney is going to start to try to, you know, clear the front now, but Cousins just putting as many rocks into the middle as they can and hope that Delaney's not able to remove 2 of them with one shot, right? As long as Elizabeth can trade 1 for 1 throughout the end from here, she can hopefully sink one on her last and put some pressure on Delaney.
Yup, yup. Really gotta go. Hard. Okay. Okay.
Game on now.
Fine, Sid.
So 2 in the rings and certainly 1 up there that's splittable.
And they've still got their center guard. These are the shots if you're going to get back in the game. These are the ones that you need to make. Is, you know, the other team just kind of opened the door a little bit. You got to capitalize on that opportunity and put this in a really good
Okay, wait if you
scoring
can.
position. Top button,
Not curling.
split the center line,
We're not moving yet. Goalie.
put that pressure on.
Yep. 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 Till it stops. Yep. 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 Really nice.
Great
14.
spot.
Good results.
You got it, Sid. What half? You got it, Sid.
These kinds of peels where the rocks are kind of on opposite sides of the center line are always super eventful because
Clean up.
you could end up with a really unlucky jam or you could clear everything.
Yeah, I mean, she's playing on her own. Just like to get some action in here. That's
Hard,
actually a
hard.
pretty great shot.
I'll get Sid.
Works pretty well.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
All the clutter up front is gone. Yes, red is sitting, 1, 2, 3, and 5 at the moment, but you have hammer. The only thing that matters is just clearing access to the middle, because those red rocks in the 12 and the 8 foot are really unlikely to end up mattering. The other side of that coin for Cousins is like, you want to capitalize on, or you want to maximize the equity of those rocks on the side of the rings, and play this game or play this end towards the result of hope that Delaney has a hit on her last one and maybe she rolls out and you get a cheap steal of 2-3 points, right? Or you end up with 3 rocks in the 8 foot and Delaney has to draw against them and she misses a draw and you score 3 points, right? It's not super likely that that's going to happen, but if that's what you're being given, that's what you need to play towards.
Yep, I like this. Okay, just firm.
Yep!
Trying to play this firm. Might have got it started a little bit. It's a little fortunate there.
That's one of the things, like when there's that many rocks in the house, you got something to catch yourself on, right? A lot of ways to evaluate.
Cousins did discuss hitting that, but I think the team here is elected to guard. I tend to like that call.
I think you can guard 1, maybe 2 times, but on the last, you probably are going to have to hit the yellow one and just sit 4 and hope for the best. Not only is that the lowest risk strategy by not giving Delaney an opportunity to score 2 by not leaving a second rock in the rings, it's also your highest upside play. Right? The only way you can score 3 points right now is by sitting 3, and so stealing here is important, but putting a lot of pressure on Delaney. If she misses 1 shot, the game's tied. That's something.
Strouse will ignore the guard and make a play on the rock and then shot rock in the rings.
Did you see it? If they called straight to the red one, or are they playing yellow to red?
Yellow to red, I believe. I think they can get to. Yeah, not playing the slash. Straight to it. Which you certainly will do. It's curling hard. If they can get it by the guard. Now they're by. Now they got to curl it a bit. There you go. Well done. Does jam, but shot made as called.
You could make a double and spin up here.
Right now.
Let's hear if Elizabeth. Listen in as Elizabeth discusses that.
Just do this. I like forward. Yeah, they just threw 11-3. I like that. Forward is here.
So they may have entertained the shot you described, Stevie, just for a moment, but I think they've settled on the hit and roll under.
Yeah, the danger with the shot I was thinking is, you're aiming for the spot right between the 2 stones, and that's very close to jamming the yellow one in the back on your red, which would take away all of your side red ones. So I think what they're probably hoping to do here is, get a roll under. Delaney probably peels the guard, and then you can hit the other yellow one and sit 5.
Elizabeth Cousins, her first stone as we approach the midway point of this game.
Yep. Yes. 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 Hard. Hard.
Oof. And trouble. Rubs the guard.
Yep. Top 8.
Strouse will now use the guard and hope to lie 3.
Biting the 4 foot.
Biting the 4 foot, yep.
Little less here, Anna.
Yep.
So worst place to leave this, Stevie?
For Delaney,
Yes.
probably right behind the T line.
I like biting the top part here.
Short is not very good either, because then you can hit and roll under staggered guards. It's pretty important for this one to be halfway into the forefoot, I think.
Yeah, they said touching forefoot. I think touching forefoot half into the 4 is ideal. You also don't want to leave like sort of a fun double right behind the guard. So.
Yeah, you don't want to put this in a spot where the hit and roll naturally already goes.
Line's good.
So, look at what Cousins' hit and roll path would be and just avoid that path, essentially.
Line's good. 13-9.
13-9 is a little stronger than they would probably like. They might want to take this way back now.
That's about the worst spot to put it, I think. Cousins could play this freeze, but the double is naturally like right there, and you're dead buried because they ended up edge on edge.
Let's hear them talk that through.
I really have to skinny this one, huh? Yeah, I'd have to hit that one like here.
Sure. I'm fine with this.
No, I don't like that there's 3 counters right now. I'm fine to damage control this.
Yeah.
Right, inside out.
You could play it outside and you could play it.
Hey, I like inside out.
Okay.
All right, I like
Peel?
firm or peel. Yeah, peel.
Yeah.
That should be good. Yeah.
We're thinking Peel playing this double inside out.
About a third of a rock.
We can get all 3. It's really thin. Yeah.
Not sure the yellow and the 8-foot goes particularly easily, but it may.
If it does, this is definitely the right shot.
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably already the right shot, but if that's true,
She makes the triple
for
and
sure the right shot.
Sticks it right behind the. I think they've changed the turn they're throwing though.
I think that's correct.
I think they got to the other end and realized that guard would come into play if they were throwing the out turn.
Yeah. It's not really in play of the path of the stone if you make the shot. Like if you hit the guard, you would have missed anyway. But it's in your eyesight, and just taking that out is always helpful.
They're on it early.
It's close.
Very
really
close. Well, she doesn't get all 3, but she does lie 1 buried.
And that's exactly why that spot was so bad of a result from Delaney's last shot.
That said, I think it is available.
It's definitely an option, to get. It curls enough with that soft hack weight. She really only needs, back line here and only needs to hit half the stone, bump it out of the forefoot. But for Cousins, that's the best she could possibly do. And, that's just how good of a position Delaney was in after Cousins wrecked on the guard on her first one.
Yeah. It's gotta get on the nose here. Do you guys like the ice here?
Strouse, last shot, 5th end, looking to score 2 and really take a stranglehold on this game. This rock is close to the guard. They do have to get tight, but it's really tight right now. They're leaning on it. Can they get it by? Very close. I don't think they're going to get in. They just rub.
That's fine.
And that'll be a steal of 1 for Cousins. Big swing there. That makes it 4-2 as we head to the 5th end break. And it's time, because it's the 5th end break. I got a little early before, but it's time for the mid-game break, brought to you by Broom Fitters, where you'll find a full selection of curling brooms, shoes, and equipment, along with unique curling apparel, gifts, and more. Visit broomfitters.com for good curling gear. Right, we're back after the fifth end break here at the 2024 USA Curling National Championships. It's the women's session, and if we look across, we can update the scores here. These scores are all updated at the fifth end break. Sarah Anderson, Team Anderson up 4-2 over Team McMakin, and Anderson will carry Hammer into the next end, I believe. I'm not quite sure there. Kim Rhyme with a commanding 8-3 lead over Rachel Workin. Our feature matchup is now 4-3 for Delaney Strouse over Elizabeth Cousins. And Tabitha Peterson is up 5-3. That's the latest update against Miranda Scheel. So Peterson with a big 3 in the fourth. Scheel answered with a 2 in 5. Back to our feature game. It is Liz Janiak with the opening stone here in the sixth end.
Just to clarify, our game is 4-2, not 4-3.
Good call. I read that and I thought, I don't think it's 4-3, but 4-2. We'll get that fixed.
What? Yep. All right. 14-1.
There we go. 4-2. Strouse over Cousins. Strouse did have a chance to blow the game open there, but this guard slips into the rings. Suboptimal.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually in the sixth end because they come out and they mop the sheet to give it a little clean, and that oftentimes will add like half a second. And it's a tricky adjustment to go from the fifth end to the sixth end sometimes.
It's the pro lead adjustment. Make that adjustment with that first 1 in 5. Just have to trust that the fuzzy broom did its work.
That's right.
That's going to hit and just roll out, or just roll to the edge of the foam. Got white foam here this week, and putting this event on. I could tell a long story about the foam, but why it's a little different color this week, Stevie, but we'll leave that for another time. But so Janiak will try to put the guard up this time, make the adjustment. Looking in the back there, Rosetta Fine Italian Bakery. Have you been in there yet, Stevie? Unbelievable.
I haven't.
Unbelievable. If you do come out to American Dream, stop by there for a fine pastry.
What's the signature item?
I don't know. I haven't had anything. Well, I've only had a couple of items, but everybody's raving about it.
All right.
So one of the things we tried to do here this week, there is ticketing. The best viewing is ticketed, but there are some areas where people can peek in without a ticket, and that's part of the goal of introducing the sport to more people. So we obviously get a lot of people here at the mall who are maybe not here to see curling and then discover curling. So that's part of the goal of bringing this event here.
You can bury a piece. Whoa. Just top 8, girls. 14.
I think it's pretty cool to be in the middle of a random trafficked area. Like just to get people walking by and being like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's part of the thing. It's certainly, again, shout out to Sean Olson and his ice crew, Frank Mogavera, Lauren Rich, and all the others who've helped this week, because it's, obviously this venue presented no shortage of challenges in terms of loading, unloading, not like a typical arena. So really appreciate their willingness to work through all those challenges. And we've got good surface right now.
9-6.
Hit and stick.
10-5.
That gives Strouse an opportunity to hit and roll open.
Yeah, Delaney is happy to trade 1-for-1 rocks for the next 4 ends if she can. Elizabeth really needs to get something congested into the middle and make it hard to just trade 1-for-1.
Sounds like that throw might have been a little inside out, and they're going to hit and roll away and out.
Okay, Ellie, let's kick them while they're down.
So now here's a chance to get one buried and, make it so Strouse has some work to do.
Allison Howell will play this out-turn draw.
This is one where, normally the old adage of don't slip behind the tee line is generally true, but but this is one where just being fully buried,
That's a bit hot.
pretty much no matter where it ends up, is good. It might even be better to be behind the tee line because Strouse is going to want to play the run back anyway. So the more distance between the stones, the harder the run back is. And so if you slip this, into the back forefoot, that's really totally fine.
At this point in the end, but you certainly don't want to be as deep as this one will end up.
It does need to be in play.
It's in play, but certainly now gives Strouse a chance to just rip this guard. And
You got it, Sid.
not really too concerned about the one in the back 12.
No, the one thing about, that one in the back 12 being there is when Strouse goes to peel this center guard, yes, you basically take the steal out of play, but you're going to end up getting forced quite often because, Cousins can end up splitting the rings. But now,
Yeah, a bit of a wobbly delivery there
Gotta
from
make that
Sydney
peel.
Mullaney, and she hit it on the Brooklyn side. Rolled that way. Delaney is down there discussing what that slide looked like. Probably looked like a lot of mine, Stevie.
yeah, I believe it.
That was a little harsh. A
You
little
said
quick.
It. You said it. I just agreed.
Yeah.
And
well,
circle gets the square.
Yeah, yeah. I was never a technocrat as a player, let's say that.
You were more of a brawn guy.
Yeah, I was definitely, artist role.
13-7.
Nice thing about being an artist, when you do have the slide you want, you can really be excited about it. You can say things like slide of the week. So they slip a little deep again. Strouse will.
Hair low.
I think that's a
That
totally
feels
fine
good.
result.
Yep.
Turn
They're
preference.
already running. They're always going to be running this yellow rock back, and so the more distance you create, the better. It is a little unfortunate that it over curled. So now this is on an angle, whereas if it was straight back, they're going to leave the shooter by making the run back. Now you can make the run back and kill the shooter.
Anna O'Hara will take that on.
Clean. Whoa. Just straight peel. That's fine. Sorry.
They're going to stay on the high side with this and peel it. Now, more opportunity for Cousins to apply some pressure here. I think as a skip, when you're Delaney Strouse, at some point in this, the way this end is shaping up, you have to almost start to mentally prepare for a draw against a number. May not be the hardest draw you'll face all week, but you're going to have to maybe draw against a number with a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, I think, and that started entering her mind probably the second the last peel was missed. Is like, okay, all of our offense is gone. This end is now about making sure that I have the most open path to the forefoot because that's what I'm going to be playing on my last shot.
Oh, you're there.
This rock may be over curling and a little heavy.
Just a little here.
Triple there, Stevie?
Just 7-5.
It's possible. Just maybe
Yep, same turn.
barely high side.
I think so.
You could also hit across the top of the one in the middle. That's one of the dangers of coming into the rings with the last cousin stone is, now if they make a double and sit, the yellow rock is in the rings and your strategy is kind of dictated.
Hard to stick.
Did get that going, but they really like to have that stick around, at least count out the back one, which it does.
That's fine, yeah. That's good.
Wanted to at least make sure they
That's good.
at least lie second shot. Ooh, here we go. So Elizabeth Cousins is looking at hitting this one.
I think you have to at this spot.
9-5.
Sitting like the one that's in the forefoot is barely in the forefoot. It's not in a really good stealing position, so guarding it is not really profitable. It's also it's very difficult to protect a stone with one guard anyway. Her best chance at a steal is probably hitting this and sitting multiple points, and hoping Delaney misses some kind of draw.
Fair point.
There's a lot of ways to steal that are not exactly conventional. When someone who's a novice-ish at curling thinks of stealing, they always think of like a rock on the button that's protected and the other team has no path in. But you see this all the time. That, you know, people will hit and roll out, and you get a steal of 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, others will say the counter argument is if you're playing the scoreboard, you're still down 2 without, and you would like to force Delaney Strouse into something more difficult.
Yeah, it's a little.
But she'll play this hit on her first. Probably wouldn't mind the double. But doesn't really need it.
No.
But would certainly remove a bit of pressure on her last one, perhaps, make it a little more comfortable.
And to your last point about, you know, wanting to make Delaney throw something more difficult, that's absolutely true. In a, you know, if you got to dictate the terms, right, you would want the skip to throw the most difficult shot that they can. But you're in a spot now where you don't really have a path to creating a very difficult shot for Delaney. So then your mindset has to shift to what's the best upside for me. You know, she's going to be throwing some kind of medium strength shot anyway. We might as well take the best upside if she misses.
Well, here's her first of this 6th end. Real close to jammed it. But does stay for shot. Now to your point, Stevie, she will probably face a hit against 3.
Yep.
Unless she really feels, unless this ends up in a spot where the draw is more comfortable.
Yeah, this is when I think you want to put it in a spot where Delaney at least has to think about the 2 choices.
100%.
Right?
Love to give skips 2 choices.
Yeah, one of the easiest ways to get a skip, you know, get their attention not focused on what is directly in front of them is to make them think about 2 different things in front of them. And so, you know, a really good spot to roll to here would be to like biting the edge of the 4-foot. If you roll out into the 12-foot, then Delaney is just like definitely going to draw. But if you roll to the edge of the 4-foot, she kind of has to figure out which one she wants to throw.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Cousins trying to hit and stick there. This rock's curling a little bit early.
It's curling a lot.
Close to nose. Ooh, just scrapes by the one at the back end does. Decision time. It looks like Strouse will play the takeout, though.
I think with that ice, that's draw ice, but.
Probably. You're probably right. Not playing enough now, Stevie. Oh, no, she's saying
she is hitting it. Yeah.
Look at me.
There you go.
On top of it.
Yeah, nose is good.
So like you said earlier, you know, not in a different end, not a particularly difficult shot, but an important one, right? If a 1-foot roll to the outside is a steal of 2.
On it early. Tiny bit of panic, maybe. Big shot here. Cleaning. Looks pretty good. Well done by Delaney Strouse. Big shot. She scores 1 when she could have given up a couple. That makes the score 5-2 as we head to the 7th end, 5-2. Cousins will have hammer playing 7.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
We're back, 2024 USA Curling National Championships. It's the women's session, and if we look across the sheets, We can see Team Anderson still playing the 6th end, but they're up 4-3 on McMakin. Kim Rhyme up 8-3 over Rachel Workin. Delaney Strouse, our feature game here, she's taking a 5-2 lead into the 7th end against Team Cousins. And Tabitha Peterson is up, the defending champion Tabitha Peterson, up 5-3 against Miranda Scheel. Scheel is currently throwing her first in the 6th end, so we may be able to update that shortly, update the other sheets. In our feature game, Delaney Strouse there with a nervy little hit to when you have control of the game early, Stevie, you don't want to give it back, do you?
No, you don't want to create an opening for the other team to latch onto. You know, you want to just keep that pressure up, and Delaney is very, very good at making the simple shots and, you know, not giving away free equity.
11-5.
So interesting here. She's up 5-2 playing the 7th. Corner guard goes up, and they're going to try to tick this.
I think you see her, you are seeing her do this because her first shot ended up through the rings. So they don't have anything like going for pressure. So they're switching to defense.
Really good, Becca.
Well, mission accomplished. Move it to the center and lose your shooter.
That's a shot that, you know, 5 years ago people would have considered crazy to attempt because it felt so low percentage. But with mixed doubles being such a, you know, such a popular way to play the game these days, and so many of these players playing in mixed doubles as well, that's a shot that gets practiced a lot more than it used to. And so now you just see it as, you know, an option.
Well, now with the no tick rule too, you see it's only when it is like that. We don't use the center line guard usually is put on the center line. You can't play that shot.
Yep.
There's some discussion about making it something you can't play at any time, no matter whether it's on the center line or not. So as curling has to make adjustments as players and conditions get better. So we'll see what happens with that. Sydney Mulaney going to make a. They're going to hit and just peel this out.
7-4.
Yeah, just trying to play a simple end here. You know, with their first rock going through, basically trying to make sure that they don't end up giving up 3. If they do give up 2, bummer, obviously, but you know, they're going to make sure that 3 doesn't happen.
And it's still a long way to 2. This is
correct.
Howell's first here. There's only one corner guard in play, so. Delaney talking in the background about not wanting another corner guard. This rock is going to settle in, just needs to be buried in the back.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great spot. You know, probably even better than on the tee line. You always like to, they say, leave room for another one. You know, the higher up that is, the smaller your window is to make another shot under the corner guard should this peel be missed.
Mulaney asked for the peel and successfully made. Cousins debating splitting the rings here, and certainly I favor the corner guard that she's called.
Yeah, you'll probably see 1, maybe 2 more corner guards go up. You just want to kind of try to kill a couple of stones to create less opportunities for the double once you do decide to come into the rings.
3, 2, 3.
Yep, we'll finish.
Probably third second is usually when you'll see that decision be made.
So corner guard goes up. Peel on the way. can report that Tabitha Peterson scored 1 in the 6th end to take a 6-3 lead over Miranda Shield, and Kim Rhymes scored another in the 6th end. They're up 9-3 over Workin.
Girl. Hard. I don't know. Okay. 7. It's a big ad.
Just enough of that one.
Anne-Marie Duberstein, her first in the 7th end.
Well done.
This looks like it has a bit of pace.
On its own.
Settling into the USA Curling blue 12-foot. Did you notice that, Stephen? That we made the 12-foot the same color as the blue in the USA Curling logo?
I like it. Consistency.
Yeah, I'm one of many taking credit for that idea, but I don't think it was mine. Yeah, it's actually a sharp look. I think the red got close, but we might need to look at that.
Maybe you should change the blue in the logo to match the 12-foot.
Well, the blue we used was just hockey blue line, so thanks to our partners at Jet Ice, one of the good supporters of USA Curling. Now, Jet Ice recently acquired by Zamboni, but they were able to produce that color for us. This is close, but they maybe overcooked it just a little bit.
6-4. Good throw. Like
6-4, that being the time from one hog line to the other. That's quite fast for a peel.
Yeah, that's Anna O'Hara, capable of throwing it.
She could whip it
that hard. It's a great weapon to have.
Hold on.
This rock, in turn, it should run into some fresh stuff over here, but it's going to need that. We'll come up against the yellow
also
along
some
the
pace
Strouse.
on this one, but
It's going to come up against the yellow, though. Well done.
Yep.
That's about as good as you could do.
9-5?
Yep.
Yeah, you're throwing 9-5 really
You
well.
want it to be
Yeah, they
even
think
with
we just
that
know it. Yeah.
back
You can roll
one
in.
so that
Yep.
you know
got
there's
it.
no sequence where you can nose one, nose back, then make a double from Strouse.
Yeah, there's not even really a good opportunity for Strouse here to try and roll and group stones. So
No, her best opportunity is probably to hit and roll to the center line
Yeah.
to create some depth, some gap in the depth of the two stones. That way, then when Cousins noses on her first one, you might have a double off the side one.
Clean.
Delaney Strouse, in-turn hit.
Whoa. Push. Hard. Really gotta go
Trying to
back
carve it
hard.
over a bit here. I'd like this to
Hard,
stick and
hard.
create something that, and it won't. I was hoping to make
Okay.
Cousins make a play on a stone. Now
Yeah.
Cousins will have another draw here.
Gets to put it wherever she wants.
Here.
So Elizabeth Cousins in a good position to take 2 here and narrow this game to 5-4.
And this is kind of what you were talking about earlier. Like, you know, when you get a lead early, you don't want to open the door to the other team. And from Cousins' perspective,
All right, so we threw
you
a
know,
lot
this
down
end
this
was
path.
a relatively simple, easy, risk-free deuce.
The time.
And all of a sudden, it's a one-point game.
Yeah, and this can be back.
Right, and after the steal in 5, they are now positioned to go 2-1, 2-1 pretty well, and that works out well for them.
Yeah.
Strauss with that big 3 in the second end now is, now you get a little tighter.
Okay.
Well, the sweepers get a rock off. for sure. I think it should start to dig in here. It's always one you kind of appreciate as a brusher. Right in the back, no brushing.
Exactly.
Knows it should be shot.
Yep. Just take less?
A hair less, yeah.
9-5?
Yep. You like barely rolled out.
So Strouse will try to hit and stick and at least force Cousins to do the same to capture 2 points in this end.
What?
Knows it and be shot.
We just took less ice. He said I threw it fine.
Delaney Strouse, intern hit, trying to lie one.
You saw some discussion from the team about, what shot should we play here? It's not like they were really considering too many different options. It's just trying to figure out, the minutia of what we want to leave Cousins for the most difficult shot.
Just has to curl to get to make it. There they go. So
good enough.
Relatively routine open hit here for Cousins, but still one she has to make. Elizabeth Cousins with her last shot here in the 7th end. Just needs to hit and stick in the rings to score 2 and bring this game to a 5-4 score.
Yeah. And for Team Cousins here, they've been grinding every single end up to this point, like a lot of, high tension ends, and to get a deuce without really trying is going to be a big lift on team morale.
Agreed. Momentum shift, a rock on the way. It's close to not sticking, and it doesn't.
Rolls out.
Costly. Just set it back a little bit wide. Elizabeth Cousins did, so a costly miss. That just a single after all that, so it will be 5-3 as we head to the 7th end.
It's a big point.
Time for. I want to talk to you about Steve's Curling Supplies. So Steve's, one of our good sponsors here at USA Curling. Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years, and they're proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, Steve's has all the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. And right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USA Curling 10 at checkout. That's USA Curling 10. Use that at checkout. Visit Steve's Curling. Not visit us, visit Steve's Curling at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Visit usacurling.org for all your curling information. Shameless plug, but appreciate Steve's. Just a reminder as well here that Curling Stadium's bringing you this great coverage this week, and you can get Curling Stadium set up in your club. We'll be at Club National, Stevie, in Fargo. They have it set up there, so we're looking forward to that. Let's look at the other sheets. Sarah Anderson scored a deuce in the 6th end to take a 6-3 lead. Kim Rime up 9-3 against Workin. Miranda Shield, Tabitha Peterson, they're finishing the 7th end. Shield is actually currently lying 2. Peterson's trying a double. And I can say missed it. So a little audio on the other sheets. Here we go, though. 5-3, Strouse with hammer.
Good, distance only. 5, distance.
Playing the 8th end.
Curl little.
Definitely,
Okay, just top 8.
that's a rough one when you miss that last hit and stick for 2, Stevie.
Just top 8.
Yeah, it's
no
tough.
deeper, no
I mean,
deeper,
that's
not
like
be
I was
deeper.
just saying, you make that, you get the 2, your morale
that
is
works.
super
Press
high,
right
you're
back.
right back in the game, and now, now you're down 2 without, and this is any opportunity for the thought of there's some game left is gone, right? Like it's balls to the wall here, and you're that's all.
Or another term we could use, Stevie. But so interesting. The center line guard went up off the center line, so it was tickable, but up 5-3. Strouse went behind it. Might see some teams play that tick up 5-3 and 8, but not a lot. Strouse is going to go behind it again here, or ask Rebecca Rogers to do that.
Yeah, that's the get first in, right? If you can get one into the top 4 and get another one into the top 4 under these 2 center guards, then Cousins doesn't really have a good place to put their third one, and then you get to start peeling the guards off, and you're already in a good scoring position. There's a ton of pressure on Cousins at this point.
Cannot be a guard. Distance.
Call is
10,
3.
Distance. Line's totally fine. Distance.
They don't like the weight, though.
Hard. Gotta be here,
They're
girls.
working
Never
it
off.
hard.
Everything you got. Don't leave it short. You got this.
They
You
don't
got
wanna
this.
leave a
Head down,
guard.
Sid. Head down, Sid. Head down.
Good sweep, Sid. Good.
Well swept. They were. I heard a call of 2 at one point, which would have been a midway guard, but they brushed it almost to the top 8. Now Cousins will try to go behind that. Just informed by my colleague Stevie Berklid that that expression used early has its roots in aviation. So, so we got that going for us. All right, Sydney Mulaney will start to make some peels here.
You got it, Sid.
As 5 rocks have been played.
Yep. You got it, Sid.
Sure.
Could see a lot of granite moving on one of these shots here. When you got these kind of soft angles on these guards,
7.
they can get going left and right real fast.
Yeah, they'd love to see action on the ones in the rings, but it'll be a straight peel.
Yeah. 6-3.
Or we can hit nose. What do you guys like?
I think down 5-3 playing 8. You're all in here, aren't you, Stevie?
You're definitely all in. I'm looking at this house and trying to figure out, what sequence of shots we can use to get a steal. And right now there's not one clean shot to make that sets up a steal. So what that tells me is I need to start planning, a little 1-2 step. How do we make a setup shot to open up an opportunity to get into scoring position? This is going to end up in a reasonable spot.
And that staggered guards, well, call them staggered guards in the 12-foot, not a bad situation for.
No, but the problem being that, Strauss's shot rock is on the button in front of the tee line, only 4 feet behind them. So there's not a lot of opportunity or room for you to get one buried in a scoring position. The staggered guards are great, but there's not really anything they can do with them right now.
Yet.
10-5. Hard. Whoa. 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 10-5. Whoa, push. Curl.
Now they're going to try to carve it over.
Real good.
Keep that in the 8 foot somewhere.
Great pair. 9-9.
So Strauss will lie 3.
Same thing. I still like trying it.
Cousins just has to ignore all of that. All these yellow rocks on the side of the 8 foot, just can't pay attention to them. There's no time anymore.
They will continue to draw here with Duberstein's first here in the 8th end. I can report that Miranda Shield, Team Shield, scored 2 in the 7th against Tabitha Peterson. That game is now 6-5 Peterson in the 8th. Peterson with hammer.
Austin. Whoa. All right, just make sure it's here then.
As long as you can get this buried, even if it's back of the button behind the tee line. That's a pretty good spot.
Agreed.
Yeah, I have a third. 12-5? Yep.
May not be shot, but it doesn't really matter, like you said.
Right.
Okay, 12-5. Even if we roll out. Yep. All the way out. 12-5.
I don't think Anna O'Hara can see a ton of this rock from the hack.
No, it's kind of, it feels a little bit risky.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever clip the one in the top of the 12-footer, or if you ever sail by, then it really is game on.
Yeah, and it's in
Hard hit,
danger
really
of that
gotta
right
go.
now.
Everything
They
you
could
got.
have just taken a whack at the ones in the top 12. Trying to carve it over. Sidney Mulaney really working it hard. I think they're going to get enough
That's
of
great
it.
sweep.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was
girls. Good enough.
that was danger area there for a moment.
Yeah.
There's still 1, 2, and 3. Do it once more. Okay.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're lying 3 is somewhat irrelevant.
I'd be a little bit demoralized playing this shot if I'm Anne-Marie. Like, she just made it almost
Right.
as good as you possibly could. And, you know, they still got to it, which is like, I would be inclined to try something different. You know, something to jostle the angles of the top one. And
Well, you could play it to really scrape the garden if you jostle those angles. Not bad.
you could.
So, which they may end up doing here. No, just by. Just to the back. It's not shot rock.
On top. Yep.
Haven't really considered this peel at all, have they?
No, and I think that,
Sure, yeah.
you know, part of the reason for that is
Probably top 8.
if they end up clearing off, you know, if they peel it into the other red one and kill their yellow that's in the top 8 foot, then now all of a sudden their shot rock is open. Like, they're so well protected in a scoring position in a way that Cousins doesn't have access to, you know, unseating that shot rock. There's no reason
Really
for them
wide.
to change.
Here it comes.
So the call is wide early.
Always
See
curl
if it
though.
starts to walk over.
We're really wide. Where?
Got to be
Okay,
careful where
I
they
think
leave
just
this
it,
one
just
now.
Leave it, just leave it. We're really wide.
Edge on edge in
little
the
bit.
8 foot is, you know,
Okay, it's
reasonable,
fine.
but there's probably a double opportunity now.
There is slash double. Let's hear what Elizabeth Cousins thinks of this situation.
Shoot, sorry. I missed. Oh, it's fine. Yeah. It was pretty wide.
I don't know how much they'll have the same shot. but-
Yeah, I think we have to.
Actually, it's wide enough that the slash double sort of tricky, but let's see what let's listen in as Elizabeth and Anne-Marie discuss.
I don't want to roll
Okay.
out. I think I like this better.
So we just try big roll.
Yeah.
I think they've elected for the hit and roll under. Not super sure what this accomplishes from the
9-5.
standpoint of trying to get a steal.
Flop in. The slash, we would roll out. Yeah.
So to your point, Stevie,
It would be at that
they're
point.
talking about the slash you would roll out, which may not be a terrible result.
Yeah, this is a spot where, you know, they're focused a little bit, or, you know, they're focused very strongly on where their shooter ends up, but there's no way for them to get shot rock right now.
Yes.
And so the only way they can get shot rock is by removing current shot rock. And if you roll out, you roll out. That's what you have to do. I think
See
that's
if they maybe get the double anyways, or they get that.
Oh, top 8.
So there's always a risk, but now certainly
Yeah.
Delaney Strouse with a chance to
Light. That's
Slam the
apply
door.
enough
Right
pressure
where you
and
were. Yeah, it's
likely finish this game here.
You clicked 14.
I don't hate throwing right where you just threw.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Probably a little more if I was wide. Yeah. Either of those I think are good. Okay. Yep. There.
Delaney's conversation, there's no real need to be fully buried here.
You almost don't want to be.
That was her point. She actually said she would like it where Anna's was. Anna was a little wide, and then, Anna's was just wide enough that it made the slash not as appealing. So
yeah.
We don't even need to be third shot or fourth shot or whatever it is because we're sitting the 2-3. I love tucking a piece, but I really, really, really don't mind where Anna just was. Even if we're like a guard in that.
So there's the summary.
Run, yeah.
Delaney Strouse, her first shot, 8th end, trying to slam the door on this game. She makes a good one here. It's going to be really tough for Team Cousins. Rock on the way.
Stubby top 8. Line's good. Room. Line's good. Line's good. Curl now, curl. Careful. Line's good. 14-8. Curl it. Distance only. Line's perfect. Yep, out count this one. Yep. Hard curl. 14-8. No, you're okay.
Good result, I think. I mean, there is that slash in there, or you could angle chip that in there, I guess.
That's probably the play, is some kind of tap.
Yep.
But the nice thing about, Delaney not tucking a piece there is wherever this red rock ends up, she will have a very short run back.
True. Elizabeth weighing the options.
So back line should be.
And like to Delaney's point of not needing to be fourth shot, that is true because she's always going to have this short run back available to her. But if she is fourth shot, if she could get into the 8-foot, then there's basically no path in. It cuts off
this angle.
So.
So Elizabeth Cousins indicated she's looking for backline weight.
Trying to hit maybe a quarter of this rock.
Yeah, it's tricky sometimes. A lot of newer curlers will underestimate the amount of weight they need on these kind of shots. When you're hitting it this thin, you need maybe a little more weight than you expect. Tough one to get the ice right on.
This is not a shot you practice often.
Elizabeth Cousins, her last shot, 8th end. Line looks close.
Whoa! No! Yes!
Line looks really close. That was the weight right. Let's see.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Strauss still lying 1.
Yeah,
which I'm sure is a relief.
Yeah.
See what they think about this run for the game, basically.
Yeah, for 4 or 5.
Honestly, if you hit it into that, we're still gonna get a shot.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. Even if we just dead it on, we should get our 2. Yep.
You like it?
I like it. Okay. Firm? Yep.
It's pretty low risk.
Pretty
I think
much
it's
on the nose here, Anna.
Yep.
it's really difficult to not score at least one that you already have, right?
Yeah, they had that discussion. Even if she hits it doesn't hit it thick enough, somehow ends on the high side of it, it's likely to jam under her own and still get 1.
Right.
There is certainly a way to give up 1 here, but it's
true.
Even, yeah, I think if we hit it straight back.
It's very unlikely.
Straight back, I think scores 3 or 4. 3 maybe, I can't tell.
Yeah, if the red one goes, it scores 4.
Delaney Strouse, last rock, 8th end. Ooh. Looks tight to me from up here.
She does throw it pretty straight.
They're holding it, trying to hard it hard. Ooh.
1?
Did get 1. Started curling early on her. They will score 1, Team Strauss, making the score 6-3 after 8 ends. We'll be back with the 9th end as soon as I talk about Warm Room Hero, one of our great USA curling sponsors. If you're looking for intuitive curling club software that takes the stress out of schedules, registrations, and more, Warm Room Hero, that's the platform built for curlers by curlers. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. I think this is a good one for, if you're a club president, you know what this kind of stuff can be like, and this can make your life a whole lot easier. And we'd like to make lives easier for curling club presidents. We'll be right back. 2024 USA Curling Men's and Women's National Championships here at the Rink at American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. A quick update on the scores. Big 3 for Team McMakin, skipped by Cora Farrell. They are now 6-6 in that game, playing the 8th end against Team Anderson. Kim Rhyme with a commanding 9-4 lead over Rachel Workin, and Tabitha Peterson in a close one with Miranda Shield. It's 6-5 over there, and Shield, I'll give you this update. Shield just hit to lie 2 at least. And in our feature game, it's 6-3 for Delaney Strouse over Team Cousins. Cousins with hammer here in 9. There was a chance there for Team Strouse to really close this thing out, but say Delaney Strouse was a little tight in her last throw. It overcurled and just a single. So they have to sort of park that as well, right, Stevie? That can be a little tricky.
That is true. Those are moments where you're mentally preparing for, like, okay, we make this, game's over, and then, oh, crap, we have to keep playing.
Mine's good.
Yeah, and in a week like this, too, it's always nice to get off the ice a little early. I am, especially as a front-end player, I was always happy to wrap one up and get out of there.
Yeah.
I always liked walking off the ice when other teams were still playing.
Especially in, not only a week-long event, but a week-long of 10-end games, too.
Correct. Update over on sheet D, where Tabitha Peterson made a hit for 1. She'll take a 7-5 lead into the 9th end. Shield will have hammer. Janiak in our feature game.
So in past ends, we've seen Cousins throw up the corner guard and then immediately come into the rings. I think this, because of the position of the first corner guard, they're going to have to play a second corner guard because you just can't get one buried in the house protected enough with the height of that first corner guard.
Yeah, that first corner guard is, anything behind it would be accessible, although the double corners, not a bad situation either.
No, definitely not. That's, you might look at your first shot and be like, oh, that's a miss, and get frustrated with yourself. But now they have double corners set up. They're, then they can come under on the next one, and they're really well protected. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do, but it's important to, look at what you're creating for yourself when these, when your rocks stop.
Rogers was trying to sit on that one, but she'll slide to the back 12. They made that audible as it was coming down. Cousins will now use those corner guards. Ask Allison Howell to throw the out-turn draw. She wrapped one around coming this way 2 ends ago, I think, that helped create that shot for 2 that Elizabeth Cousins had.
Yeah, I mean, Cousins is down 3 in this game, but basically every time they've had the hammer, they've had something going under a corner guard.
This does not look productive, though. It's curling hard. I don't know if that picked or was just really light. Hear what they say.
All right.
Given where it ended up, I would guess that something happened to that stone.
They were off it early, gave up on it early, so.
Kill some, you can get them. Kill some reds. Yeah, might spin. Peel.
You want 6-5 for this? Sure.
Sydney Mulaney will be asked to throw a peel. She's looking for 6-5, so looking to put a lot of pace on this and try to get as much action with her shooter in the red ones as she can.
Vroom.
Yep. 6-5. Yeah.
Looks like a pretty good throw, actually. Yeah, it is. See how far that red goes. Great shot. Still going to leave a corner guard over there, but got about as much action as you could.
Really close to perfect, but.
Yep.
Now Cousins with split corners. They can make this run back. There's going to be some opportunity for 2 or 3 here.
Misses the run back. Chance for another peel here.
Not sure if there's a double available.
Just the one's okay.
Given where they're at.
Just the one.
a chance if you make that double, it might spin right into your own, but
In the back, yeah.
yeah, but I think you take it on though. She's saying just one, but
It's very, very thin. Looking
Yeah.
at the overhead.
on O'Hara.
But even if you just like don't fully make the double peel and you just click it and move it another foot towards the edge of the rings, like that's still valuable.
Well, they're going to make.
Yeah,
There you go.
Perfect.
There's the double peel. Well done.
You guys like drawing or?
You guys like doing this? Yeah.
So a corner guard remains, and Elizabeth Cousins will use that with Anne-Marie Duberstein's first here in the 9th end.
This is something you see a lot of teams, doing this now because the sweepers have so much more control over a draw than they do a hit and roll. And so, yes, you want to kill that stone in the forefoot and also get under the corner guard, but you can always hit that one later. It's going to be wide open for the rest of the end. So use your sweepers to control the position of your stone because that's most important. Removing that yellow stone is not the most important thing right now. It will be later, but get one into scoring position first and then remove that stone later.
And trailing 6-3, no reason to hit that, I think. And so she makes that successfully behind, forces Strouse to the peel. Certainly starts to bring 2 into play.
And that's the sequencing you're looking for if you're Team Cousins here. You're down 3, there's 2 ends left. Just make sure you get your 2 this end and try to steal in 10.
Working this one pretty hard. Well, they got it. So Anna O'Hara makes the peel. Wouldn't necessarily have to hit this one either. I mean,
no, but what else are you going to do?
We could guard.
It's a
do
little late to guard, I think.
Tend to agree.
And the danger with drawing now is, then when Strouse hits you, they're going to be sitting 1 and 2, and now you have 2 stones to remove instead of just 1.
You could entertain the idea of just pushing this one back to the back 12 as well.
Some kind of freeze tap situation. That's fair.
This rock's curling. You don't want to group these. He'll make the double, but may have left a double back.
Yeah, this double back looks reasonably natural, maybe a little thick.
Yeah, big roll in here and getting just rid of the rock here. Peel. Yeah,
It's a lot
maybe
easier to
little
make
left.
these thick doubles when the first rock you're hitting is the one that's in the center as opposed to on the wing.
Yeah, this is one that looks pretty appealing from the hack. See. Looks like maybe a fraction tight again, but might have inside outed it a little bit. It's close.
You're doing it.
Closer than most. It's close. Ooh, almost, but does group it.
Yeah, definitely good enough. She didn't make the double, but now, Elizabeth doesn't have anywhere to roll without jamming. So Delaney's going to have an easier double on her last one.
Because if we know it's a double for sure, but if we do
Best thing Elizabeth can do here is probably roll like half a rock in and make it a 45-degree angle that the red ones sit on.
They can just smack it.
Those are.
Yeah.
Hear what she thinks.
That one's just going to spill off. That one's going to stay. Yeah.
All right, so we'll just nose.
I think so.
Yeah, 9-5.
She indicated she was going to try to hit and roll a fraction to the right side as we look at it, which
Just whatever we do. Unless you guys want to call a timeout about it. We're behind them. No. 9-5. Yeah.
I think she is right that you do need to roll one way or the other to make the double not natural. My inclination would be to roll inside just a little bit to make the slash tough.
Try to just paper your own.
Yeah.
This rock's curling.
Really hard.
Looks like it's a jam.
Ouch.
It will jam and roll out, so certainly pressure off here now for Delaney Strouse.
Side D foot. Yep, you got it.
So a costly miss there. Strouse has the opportunity here to limit the scoring to 1, which would give them a 6-4 lead heading into the final, possibly final end. 6-4 up 2 with hammer.
It's a pretty strong advantage.
Yeah, I like this spot. My preference is to have her hit, honestly, so I think we got to go over here. Yeah. Side 8 foot, side 4 foot.
All you, just T-line.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Not curling yet.
Sweepers haven't touched this
Line's
one.
good. Line's good. 14. Really curling. Line's good. Hard, girls.
As a front end player, this is one you don't really want to have to brush too hard either.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Oh, good.
Just on the tee line. Elizabeth Cousins will be forced to draw for one.
Draw.
Needs full 8 and a little more.
All right, looking for 4-0. Okay. Need to bite.
So suggesting a 4-0 split time. That's backline to hog. That last one they said was 14, hog to hog. Finished on the tee line without any brushing. Elizabeth Cousins, last rock, 9th end. Hoping to extend this game by scoring 1.
Feels all there.
4.1 we get on the split time from our team at Curling Stadium. This looks pretty good.
14-1.
14-1 is the call.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That should be perfect. And just
Posting right in.
back 4.
Yeah.
So score it 1 for Cousins. That makes the score 6-4 after 9. We'll head to the 10th end with Strouse carrying a 2-point lead and the hammer. And we'll give you an update on the other scores. Sarah Anderson scored 1 in 8. She has a 7-6 lead over McMakin, script by Cora Farrell. Kim Rhyme has wrapped up her game against Rachel Workin. That's 10-4 for Rhyme. And Tabitha Peterson against Miranda Shield. It is 7-5. They're currently playing the 9th end. Shield does have hammer. And a few red stones lingering around, so Tabitha Peterson is trying to draw around a corner guard and prevent a multiple. There, we heard a comment, forgot what a 10-end game feels like. It's one reason I like the 10-end format. I think it takes another certain kind of curler to adjust to it a little bit. I actually am a big fan of both formats, 8 and 10.
Line's good.
They definitely both have their merits.
All distance. Line's perfect, distance.
And Peterson, I can report, just locked one on the corner. That's going to force Shield to 1.
Hard, get a biter. Hard, get a biter.
Rebecca Rogers first.
Okay, good line. Just a little light.
Okay, so 3. It's dud 2.
So Cousins going to be, as previous, all in here. Going to have to steal 2. No. All of the risks will be taken.
Got a 4-session day today, 8, 12, 4, and 8. It's the one day of the week when we have 4 games. So busy day here. You'll have Joe Tollison and Tyler George back on the mics at noon Eastern, 11 Central. I wonder how many West Coasters got up this morning, Stevie?
I know a few.
Do you?
Yeah.
I will say shout out to the Mopac curlers and Pacific Northwest curlers. Mopac, by the way, has some of the highest entry numbers for playdowns. They're
That's cool.
an enthusiastic group, and let's not forget that most of them have to travel considerable distance.
Yeah.
So lots of good things happening out there.
13-1.
13-1, certainly stronger than they would
Really
like.
good line. Yeah. Really good line, Becca. Oh, close.
All right, that's, if you're Team Cousins, that's about the best start you could hope for.
Yeah, neither of those rocks are to the advantage of Team Strouse, so here we go. Allison Howell.
Sink one on the button here. Hope for a single peel, sink another one. And game on.
Yep. Yes.
On it early for line.
Yep.
It's getting tight to that guard. We saw Howell come up short in the last end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate result.
Might be struggling with the weight right now. And now Delaney Strouse will go to work on those guards.
You could see all 3 of them go here.
Exactly. You can see all 3 guards exit the playing area. One might stick in the back, but wouldn't be the worst thing.
No. Just get rid of
you gotta hit it thick to get it this way. You can,
get rid
but
of what's
it's
on the
really,
center
really,
line.
really thin.
Yep. I like thick too. Yep.
So Sydney Mullaney, these are shots that win games.
Yep.
Second stone can win a game here with a big peel.
Yep.
2/3 and
Yep.
pretty good shape.
Definitely has pace. Going to get a lot of action. Let's see what she does here.
Yeah, left one up there, actually.
Did leave a guard around and stuffed it in the back. They wouldn't have minded stuffing it in the back if they got rid of all the guards, but they have left one.
Those are like the same weight. Yep.
Allison Howell, they like the weight better out of her hand.
Got room. Oh. Lots of room. Lots of room.
We can finish.
Okay, yep, go. Yep. Yep. Yep, bring it over. Yep. Yep. All right.
Well, guard and play. Ooh. Strouse is looking at the rock and the rings.
How much do you have?
Yeah, neither of those guards are, in a particularly scary position. And shot rock is touching the button, so.
Yeah, there's no way to get a game winner behind there, maybe, or and they need 2, of course. So.
Right.
In between here, are they going to get by or are they going to make the peel? Well, they got
Good.
pretty fortunate there to just spread everything out and save their own in the rings.
Just this side of center. Okay.
That was the pro side miss, but you know, sometimes, Stevie, you get in games and in a competition like this one, you can get a little carried away with pro side.
There's always a balance. It's definitely important to think about basically at all times, but it's also important to recognize when a shot doesn't have a pro side, when it's just make it or it's not good.
Come down to this guy.
Yeah, or sometimes you'll see a team and they'll have 3 pro side misses in a row, and that becomes problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It slips into the rings.
Yep, I have thick half. Thick half. Sure. Oh, yeah.
Playing on the one at the back button, it is available. Some danger here, though.
A little bit, yeah. If you ever, click your yellow one, or if you roll out.
Clean, yep.
O'Hara. Quiet wait. Sweeping for line.
Yep, Ben. Whoa. Push.
Now they're going to try to carve it over.
Hard on the red. All right.
Overswept it just a little bit, but
Now an opportunity for Cousins to sit a few.
yeah.
There, 1, we're 2 and 3.
Sometimes the best thing you can, see what she says.
Guard this side. Do you wanna, like right here? Do you wanna? Yeah.
They're going to call a timeout here and bring out their coach, Graylin Cousins. So we'll listen in as they discuss their options.
I don't know. They're pretty separated. It was like this much separation. This one doesn't even really matter though right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
See, time left. Both teams with plenty of time to play this end. This is Cousins' first timeout, or their timeout.
Yeah. 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 I think on the yellow side's fine. Like this.
So they've settled on the guard.
I think that's the right spot to put the guard if you're going to play the guard. Before the timeout, Elizabeth mentioned maybe guarding the red one so that they have access to the yellow. But the best access to the yellow is from their red one.
Dead guard this guy.
And so dead guard the yellow, leaves access from the red one. And also if somehow Delaney ends up not peeling the guard, then you have a guard in the best position, which is the center line.
We'll say one of the aspects of that conversation is, you do have an opportunity here to perhaps make Delaney throw her last one against the loss, which is always
right. That definitely has to factor into your process. And there's definitely still time to create that opportunity, right? They're not, they have 3 rocks left.
Okay, well,
they're going to throw the guard on this one, which means they have 2 opportunities to remove a yellow stone and, put that particular pressure onto Delaney.
Little finish. Yep. 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 Whoa. Good.
You like playing it into this? Or is that kind of hard? Draw. If we want to be under the
Just
center,
heard
draw.
that we're
not-
sold
you were saying,
out
like-
for the mezzanine level for the final.
Yeah. Huh? I think we peel.
So that's exciting.
Okay. Okay. Straight peel? Yep. Yep.
So the guard is up, and Anna O'Hara will try to peel that.
Going to try to get some action on the ones in the top of the house as well. Just to clear off the 4 foot as best they can.
Yeah, they would love to get a lot of rocks moving here. O'Hara.
Yep. Yes, really gotta go. Whoa, I don't know. Yep, I
Oh,
don't know.
and I don't know, doesn't sound good. And wow, trouble in East Rutherford here for Strouse.
Yeah, we're 2. We're 1 and 2. Possibly 3.
Now they can wrap one too.
I think we're 1, 2, and 3. All right.
They think they're 3 already. Make this draw, and they can definitely force Strouse to have a nervy one on her last.
Okay. To make sure we get around those, to go edge.
I mean, there's no intern path now.
Not at all.
And they can pretty much take away, even the outturn path is, they can make that not much fun.
So
Yeah,
it
you
looks
might
like
see
we're
Delaney
1,
try
2,
to
and
double
3
off the
right
2
now.
reds
Yes.
on
So
her
let's
first
think
shot.
this top 4.
Um,
Top 8 is the
That takes the
tolerance.
pressure of the loss away for the most
4-0
part,
still?
and gives her the intern
Okay.
path.
Like my last throw, do you think? The last guard draw coming this way? Okay.
Talking split times, they asked if it was still 4-0. Or Elizabeth asked if it was, Cousins asked if it was still 4-0.
Top 4.
Big opportunity here. In a game that Strouse has controlled, was once up 4-0, but is likely to have to throw her last stone for the win.
Bit of an ad. Hey, line's good. Whoa! Whoa! Got room. Okay, we got room.
Lots of room, but it will finish here.
Room is fine. yeah.
Everything's finishing, so there now it's starting to finish.
Yep.
This looks
Go,
really
yes,
good.
Yes. Hard! Good. Nice sweep, guys.
Not exactly the 10th end Delaney Strouse was hoping to face, say,
No, not at all.
I don't know, a couple hours ago,
Yeah,
or
I think see a good draw.
Or even
whenever the end of the 4th end was.
honestly,
That's
even
like-
20 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
Yeah, I guess. Might be hard to
Let's
get a
hear what
second
they
one
think.
there.
Yeah.
Sure. Timeout.
And Team Strouse will call a timeout and bring out their coach, Courtney Benson. And let's hear what Courtney suggests. We don't have a mic on Courtney, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's like top.
I think right now we're listening to Team Cousins, so if we can get a mic on Team Strouse.
And they have this. Yeah. Yeah. You think coming into it? Like, was to go into like the crotch, I guess. Yeah. Open it up. Yeah, I was saying like high. Yep. Yeah, if we're overgrown a bit. And we like that even over the draw. Yeah. Yeah, just gotta be. We're not playing against the loss. Yeah. I don't hate the draw just because I think we'll be drawing on your last. We got 13-9.
I don't think drawing against 4 was in the playbook.
Yeah, that's what I got.
No, not what they were expecting. It's fun. Like there's a lot of options here. None of them are particularly good, but that doesn't mean that they're all particularly bad either. It's just like, you know, when you're up 2 with the hammer, these are not the options you're expecting to face.
I mean, the hit seems natural, but you're still probably going to be drawing against the loss, even if you make that hit, I think.
Right.
So she's elected to draw here. She can get on a corner of that one. That would certainly make things more challenging for Elizabeth Cousins on her neck. So Delaney Strouse, big shot, her first 10th end. Cousins line 4, I think, maybe 3, but definitely 4, definitely 3.
Line's good.
I like the line.
Line's good. Here it comes.
I think what's
As long
key
as
here
this
is,
doesn't bounce off.
13-5.
well, at least make sure your second shot.
Yep. Hard. It's too late. It's too late.
No, they're not going to get by. Now they bounce just as you said.
Trouble.
Trouble with a hit and roll underneath.
Oh, and we.
Big trouble.
I like 9-5, making sure we can roll this way, right?
Yeah, big rolls. Okay. I mean, you can.
Delaney Strouse not happy with that.
Right here.
I don't.
Could tempt them into playing at it. They may roll out.
Yeah. Yeah. If we can
But
show
otherwise,
piece,
if we're
yeah.
just here.
Boy, yeah, if you get this.
If they were to go here, they can just draw.
If you get the
Half
roll
under.
under,
Which
Okay.
she just did.
Perfect. So right here.
and then you're drawing basically for an extra end.
Just be careful that you don't end up jamming on the back yellow one, right? Because
True.
then that takes away your second, or what is currently your 3 in the 12 foot. You want to make sure that those are still counting.
It's a good point. I'm not sure they discussed that.
I think with the angle that they're going to be hitting this at, if they do jam, then the shooter's going to roll to a spot where they're really,
Line
really
2.
likely going to be scoring 2.
So a little roll in, she's saying, just a little tiny roll. If they even edge to edge here is pretty good. Like to bury more, get a little more behind than that.
Yeah, you don't want to leave Delaney like a the hack weight hit on a
Yep.
on a rock that's basically open. So you really need to tuck at least a third.
All right, Elizabeth Cousins down 4 early now with a chance to leave Delaney Strouse with a tough one for the win. Rock on the way.
This is curling.
Oh, she's gonna. Oh my goodness. Flirted with everything, but rolls to the back button. Now Strouse has to draw full
T-line.
4, put it on the tee line, and hope it finishes enough. Drawing against 5 and the loss.
Yep, right on the 4 foot.
Also not the one as a front end player you thought you were going to have to sweep.
No. No, usually when you're up 2 and the draw is against 3 that are sitting in the wide open 8 foot, and you just got to put it on the 4 foot for the win.
Where you're hoping you're just clean, clean, clean and
Yeah.
making contact.
Clean appeal.
Big shot. Trying to touch
Yeah,
the,
this is
need
just
to
a
get
hair
a
more.
good piece of the 4 here. And definitely need full 8 to avoid the loss. Delaney Strouse, last shot, 10th end.
Line's good.
They're on it early.
Line's good. Line's good. Stay close. Straight. Line's good.
Now it's
Straight.
curling. They like the line, though. Now it's a question of can they get it there?
14-3, girls. Hard.
Can they get it there? They're
Close.
working it hard. 14-3. 14-3. I don't think they're... Well, we're going to an extra end.
Bonus
Bonus
curling.
curling. 14-3. That said, game on the line. She did save the game there. So we'll go to our extra end here. 6-6 in a game that was once 4-0. We'll go to the extra end in just a moment.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
All right, we're back here in the 2024 USA Curling National Championships. It's a women's session. We can give you some updates. Sarah Anderson closing out Christine McMakin. That game is over. It's 10-6 final for Team Anderson over Team McMakin, skipped by Cora Farrell. On the sheet D, it's Miranda Shield trailing 8-5 as they play the 10th end. Shield with the hammer, but has a tough path to 3 at the moment. This game, and there's not the one they wanted on their first, so trying to play the long guard and left it short, touching the hog line, so that comes off, and now Strouse will draw to the wing.
That one guard is a hard shot, man.
Yeah, there are plenty of people who, it's sort of like you're trying to draw the button, really, but a heck of a lot shorter. You have to get it just over.
Well, and if you were trying to draw the button, and if it ends up in the 12-foot, they take it out of play.
Yeah, or if you end up in the 4-foot, they take it out of play.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the key there is usually when you throw that, you want to make sure it doesn't have to be brushed a whole ton. So that goes on the tee line. So Cousins will have some work to do, but they will get chances to get a guard up. Well, Stevie, we really helped out Tyler and Joe by, they didn't have to get up at 8 a.m. and they didn't have to do an 11-end game.
That's right.
All there. It's all there. Whoa. Clean. I know. I just want it to be on the.
We talk about,
That's all nice.
the wear and tear a 10-end game has on the players, but what about us?
What?
Right. Well, we were all trying to give them, it's a 4-draw day, 4-session day, so with a quick 8 a.m. turnaround, giving them a break. So the centerline guard is up. This is Rebecca Rogers with her second. She's going to try to go around it.
Little tight. 7, 8. Really got to go straight here, girls. 4.
Sounds like it's tight to the guard. They can't move that one. It is touching the center line. They can't move it, or it's going to go back.
It's 15-2.
And that looks like where they're going to end up.
Bonk.
That's okay.
No tick rule in effect.
Leave it. Do you guys think so? I think leave it. I think. Sorry. No, you're good.
So Anna O'Hara was quickly moving it, and then Cousins thought about it and said, let's leave 2 guards up there.
Looks like where it was.
Yeah.
Definitely the right call.
That light's fine.
2 is better than 1.
Yeah, it's, even and that yellow is pretty much on the center line, just inches off.
Well, and the red one that was there before was, barely biting the center line, so it's not an improvement.
So game on, 2 guards up, even after the hogged rock that started things. So Allison Howell will try to get around these.
4. Yep. 6. Yep. 4. Yep.
Tight to the guard.
All the way, guys. All the way.
We do want to get this behind. It's not critical that it's shot or anything, just behind.
Great. Good.
That's not a bad spot at all.
Not at all.
It's high enough that they can, draw another one around it later.
Yeah, that's still a guard in the top of the 12-foot on championship ice.
Yep.
Yes, you Cameron. You got it.
One thing that happens too in a lot of extra ends once the other games have stepped off the ice is that the surface conditions, surface temperature changes. The ice can slow down a little bit more than what they've expected the last couple ends. So
Mulaney wants to get a lot of action here. Oh, they needed to sweep that.
yeah.
Bit of a miscue there. They could have pushed that back, I think, a little bit. And Made the double peel.
Yeah, just a little bit
A little
less.
bit of doubt creeping into the conversations here among Team Strouse.
I mean, that's what happens when you
Yeah.
open the door and a team kind of comes back in, right?
So
You have to shift your mentality from front running to now you're in the thick of it.
Gotta go.
yeah, the big thing here is they just have to think, okay, it's an extra round and we have the hammer. So if they'd probably been asked at the start of the game if they'd be happy with that, they probably would say okay.
Right.
But after, giving up the 4-0 lead, you may not feel that way.
Well, and from a mentality perspective, Team Cousins has been spending the last 7 ends battling for this position. Right. This is what they've been working towards, and this is what Strouse has been working to avoid. And so it's, one team is thinking positively about the situation from a recency standpoint, and the other team is not.
Briefly entertain running the top one. I don't think that's in play if they make this. I mean, it's still something you can put another guard behind. But
Right.
Whoa.
I think that's the better call.
Great shot.
Great shot from Sydney Mulaney. So they want to get behind this guard now.
Delaney is going to be a lot happier with this setup than she was with the last one.
Yeah, certainly looks better than the last end did for her, the 10th, which was fairly disastrous from the outset. Anne-Marie Duberstein trying to wrap around this guard. Doesn't want to be in. Now the problem is this is over curling.
No, don't touch.
I think it will settle in behind though. Might see enough though to be able to make a play on it. Yep.
Yeah.
So outturn peel coming up.
That's okay. They all, they got basically 3 shots at making that tight guard, because they only need to make 1 draw underneath it. So.
Clean. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta move.
Well, gets a little bonus. Not that really mattered, but
The
makes the
double peel's
peel.
a double peel.
Yeah, it goes in the books as a double peel, I guess. But
Touch less.
so 1 long guard. Cousins needs to get a guard behind that guard. I can tell you that Tabitha Peterson closed out the game against Miranda Shield. That's an 8. Mark that as an 8-5 win for Peterson over Shield. Anne-Marie Duberstein.
A little wider path here. Take a look, guys. Three, you guys. Got it. Yep.
This one needs to curl a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it was out there early. They said it was a wider path, but they might better side to leave it on because it does bring that, could bring that jam into play. Anna O'Hara.
Yep.
Need to hit this thin enough.
Honestly, even if it jams over there, it's not really a threat.
Well,
I don't know.
no, that's all right. Delaney Strouse did not like that at all at any time until it struck the stone that she was trying to peel.
Well, they papered the top guard.
Yeah.
Which is hard to hit that thin enough that you would still hit the back guard.
So as Stevie pointed out, they need to get 1 behind the guard. They need 1 and a good draw to force Delaney Strouse into something tough.
Yeah, this one needs to be in a good spot. Just off the center line, 2 feet in front of the rings.
Yeah, they need this one to be unpeelable.
They're taking a lot of ice for needing to cross the center line. They're all the way outside the edge of the 12-foot.
Not a lot to add.
Let's see. She said she didn't add a lot, so softer release should curl a little more, but it does have room.
All right, go ahead.
I think your take there might have been right, Stevie, in that
As far as
that
it
was
goes.
a lot of ice.
16-0. Keep going.
going, keep going, keep
So
going.
that was the issue. A lot of ice there.
Yeah.
I think after throwing that enough, that wouldn't have been an issue. But now Delaney Strouse can peel this comfortably with the out turn, not have to worry about a jam, and might just be able to make contact for the win with something.
Yeah, nowhere to really hide anymore.
They're suggesting it didn't curl, but you think the broom was wider.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the ice to get to the center line for a draw is 4.5 feet, so they should have been just barely into the 12-foot. And this has got 6 feet less to travel, and they had 2 feet more of ice.
Delaney Strouse, out turn peel.
Yes!
We got to go on this.
Hard,
We
Becky,
got to
Becky,
go.
Roll it! Hard, Sid, go, 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 get it off, go, go,
Good
go,
enough.
go, go.
Skip peel's always entertaining,
Oh, no, nice. Get for it.
but well done, made.
Gets to the boards, never a doubt.
So one long guard in play, and let's remember that Strouse, will have access to it and doesn't need to stick around. Always nice to have that one sitting there like that.
All right.
Yeah, not needing to
Fighting
stick is
for just showing a piece on
a
Liz's
nice
side
pressure
is
valve
perfect.
release.
Elizabeth Cousins
We
looking
can go
for
less, Ann.
just touching the forefoot. Can
What
show a
did I just
piece
throw? Okay. Sounds good.
that brings the jam possibly into play. Cousins, last shot, extra end, tie game. Of course, since we're in an extra. It's on its way.
Okay, stay close.
Brushers haven't touched it yet.
Okay, it's going
Coming
curling.
This one again
I
needs to
think
curl
it's,
a little.
well, now they're saying it's really curling, but it looks to me like it has some pace. Starting to dig in that slide path, though.
Nope, nope, don't touch it.
Wide
It's going to
open.
come out the other side.
Yeah, wide open.
It's a wide open out turn hit here for Delaney Strouse.
10-5? What'd you say? 10-5? I like 10-5, yep.
So the guard shouldn't be in play. Make it go away for Delaney Strouse and call this a win if she can make that happen.
Push, push.
Push! Clean! Push! Yep! Straight!
Some early panic, but I
Push!
think Delaney might have thought she inside outed it a bit, but it looks good. There it is. That will be two, count of two for Strouse in the extra. Make the final 8-6. Delaney Strouse, Team Strouse over Team Cousins. 8-6, an entertaining one, Stevie. Thanks for joining me and helping our
having me,
guys have
Dean.
the day off. We'll be back at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 Central, 9 on the Pacific for those people who are watching this, got up early. That's all from the 2024 USA Curling Men's and Women's National Championships from the Rink at American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Thanks for joining us. See you again.